Can I get everyone's attention? Can you raise your hands if you can hear me at the back? All right, I'm seeing a lot of cricket players also sitting, like 24/7 cricket happened last night. Good to know that everyone is still energized. My arms are aching, to be honest. But yeah, can I get a GM from everyone? Are you ready for the conference? Do I make the cliche joke of did you have lunch? Can I get a GM again? All right, that's much better. Thank you so much. Yeah, just wanted to give you a quick intro that we are going to be doing the ETH India Conference. We are going to be starting it now. So as part of the theme and everything that we have prepared, we are having like two, three interesting panels just to like kind of like the things you have been discussing with your mentors, more on like how do you come up with good ideas, what are the things that are kind of needed in the industry, what are people looking to build, what are the good things to build, what are things to avoid, and what are the interesting problems that people should approach and how do you approach them, right? So we have like a couple of panels that will help you get more incentivized and like help you better understand on how do you go about solving interesting problems, because we all know that we are all very like our primary skill is definitely building anything out there, but what to build has always been the question, right? And after that, we are going to be starting with the demos. So just a heads up that Siddharth from our team will be reaching out to you one-on-one to help you folks be ready for the demo. Do not take it too like don't be too tensed about it. This is like a soft demo first. We are just here to see what are the ideas that you have come up with along with your super hacker, and you just present that. It's going to be like all the details are already shared in the group. You can drop me a message if there's any confusion you have, and Siddharth will be reaching out to you as per the order. So everything has been sent on the group. So I hope all hackers who have been tirelessly working for the last 24 hours, maybe round of applause for that. You have been like giving a lot of your time, and to all the super hackers as well. Pretty good job, and then also not missing out on all the activities we have been doing, the pool game, Golgappa challenge, the marshmallow. We saw some interesting things coming out. Really appreciate everyone going beyond hacking at ETH India Villa. And with that, I'll cue in Denver, uh, our co-founder and CEO at DevFolio, to take the conference live.
All right. Cool. We're going to start off with a panel with some builders who have been in the Ethereum ecosystem since a while. Wanted to just have a chat with them, just do some real talk on how their journey building in Ethereum has been, and if they have any advice for people who are coming into the space. So I'd like to welcome our panelists for today. We have Angela from Crossmint, and we have Siddesh, and we have Akash. You join us on the stage.
Hey,
Hey,
what is up?
you tell me what's up.
Everything's good. Seeing the builders build, it's pretty good.
Cool. So I just wanted to start off with a round of quick introductions for yourselves, a little bit about your journey. Siddesh, I've been seeing you at hackathon since a while. When was the first ETH India that you attended?
My first ETHIndia was 2023 ETHIndia.
Okay.
And it was a good experience because that was my first IRL hackathon ever. And I used to study biology. I was not really a computer engineer. And after 2 years, my first IRL hackathon was like ETHIndia. And that also happened to be my first time I was able to get a job at a Web3 company. And that's when I met people from Push Protocol, and I got a job at Push Protocol. I was working there for a bit. So yeah.
Perfect. So you were at Push for a while, and after that, you were in an experimental phase for a few months?
Yeah. So my journey started off like 2022, 2023, where I was like building a bunch of stuff online and like going through a couple of hackathons every now and then, and experimenting around the problems that people post on Twitter. I've been very active on Twitter since then, And I used to contribute to Push Protocol as a community contributor. And then when I met them at ETHIndia, I had a chat with them, and they were happy to take me in as part of a integrations engineer at the time. And I worked there for like almost 2 years, but I had the liberty to actually kind of experiment even while having the job. So part of my job was like to experiment around what are the cool consumer experiences we can build. And I've always been a very strong, builder, trying to focus on consumer experiences and how we can improve the experience as a whole that we can probably build, be it small or whatever it is. Then around 2024, that's when I started working with Pareen on a bunch of like small projects that we would just like try to see how we can actually build creative apps, not the apps that you see like, a swapping app or a DeFi or whatever it is, but then like creative apps where people could just try new things, maybe on the side of AI plus crypto sort of things. That's what actually I think like it started blowing up some of the apps that I built. Some of the apps could be like as simple as Omegle, but using a Web3 infrastructure. Some of these apps blew up, and Push was also able to like crack some partnerships from that, just from that. So Twitter has been a very big component of my growth over the last few years, and then that got me a job at Privy. Right now, I work with the developer success team at Privy, mostly like leading the Asian customers and the almost like Singapore and all those sorts of things. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Amazing. We'll dive a bit deeper into that in a bit, but Angela, I would like to put you in the spotlight and know from you, how did you get started with Ethereum? Did you attend ETHIndia, or were you like in the ecosystem before that? And how did your journey progress from there?
So I was still in college when the first ETHIndia happened, and that was supposed to be my first flight alone outside of Delhi. I took the leap of faith and I applied and I got in, and the team members were all new to me. Like everyone was a stranger. So it was back in 2018 when I got to know about Ethereum and Bitcoin, and that was my first hackathon. Out of sheer luck, we ended up winning, and I joined Matic soon after, and that was my first job right out of college and my first job in crypto. And ever since then, I've been in crypto, never really thought of leaving. And my first job was as a developer advocate. I was still trying to figure out what advocacy is, what relations is, what L2s are. Everyone in the community was figuring out what L2 and L1 is. So it was a pretty interesting time for me. And while I was at Matic, I wanted to get into engineering a bit. So I dabbled a little bit with some code. And I stayed an engineer for about 3.5-ish years. And during that time, and from the experience that I had as an advocate while at Matic, I realized like the true value really lies in the people that are in a community, in an ecosystem. And I wanted to be as close to people as possible while still being able to build and not really lose my touch with engineering. So I started getting deeper into developer experience engineering, and that is what I do now. So since 2018 up until now, I have done a bunch of contracts here and there, worked with a few companies. Currently, I'm working with Crossmint as a developer relations engineer. But that is where most of my the experience comes from. And I've always tried working with companies on different layers in this industry. So like first company was infrastructure, which was Polygon, then Matic. And then I worked with Gitcoin, which was community focused, kernel community focused. Alchemy was again infra. And Layer 0 and with Crossmint currently are also infra. Crossmint is more product. So throughout my journey, I have been lucky enough to experience how all of these pieces fit together and what really makes this industry move. But I'm still convinced that it's the people that are in this industry, and especially the builders that are in this industry. So, yeah.
Makes sense. And I think, Angela, you're one of the few people who still have the privilege to say that you joined Matic, right?
Yeah.
And not really Polygon. But that's super cool that you are continuing to sort of uh, be in the space and give back and help the next generation, right? And we'll touch upon that again. But yeah, with Akash, yeah, Akash, like like one of my like really core memories of you is like you staying up all night teaching people Cairo, at ETHIndia, and not giving up even when it seemed that they were, right? So yeah, tell me like how did you get your start in the whole space, and what drives you ahead?
Yeah, firstly, thanks for having me here. I actually started in 2019. That's when I actually started going to college. That was my first year. And towards 2019 end, that's when everyone saw Bitcoin hit the 60K and stuff. And I was like, shit, what's happening? And then I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I just started diving into it. And I was like, okay, there's Bitcoin. And then I got to know a term there was something called white paper. Until then, I never knew what white paper was. And then I started diving deep into it. And it was pretty interesting because it kind of resembled with what I was doing in college as well. So I just started diving deep, and luckily COVID hit, and I had more time to spend on myself rather than on the courses that I paid for. I was just diving deep into, just into blockchain, into Ethereum, and then into Solidity and all this sort of stuff. Give or take 5 to 6 months, I just spent a lot of time into it. And then I was like, okay, I've done a lot of stuff now. Why shouldn't I put it into test? And that's when I started applying for internship. I was never into any communities and of that sort. I was always alone. I just started applying for a few internships and all those sort of stuff. Within like third or fourth interview, it striked and they got me in. And that was like my first entry into like a Web3 company. There was a consulting company. They were doing projects for others. So that's where it started from there. And I started doing 3 months internship, learned enough, moved to the next internship, learned enough, 3 months, moved to the next internship. So I was able to gather a lot of knowledge. As I was able to gather a lot of knowledge, once I knew I had enough, I just started moving to the next problem. So that's how I started shifting. And suddenly, I'm on my 4th year, and also got 2 offers in my college. And it's that typical mindset. Okay, my parents are like, no, you should take this particular package that you've got in college. But I'm like, no, I'm still doing my internship, and I don't have my full-time yet. And I'm just figuring out, should I take this full-time, or should I just do this internship? I just took a bet. I just took a deep breath and just took a huge bet. Since my family was also dependent on me, and I was like, okay, let's do it. I'll dive into all these internship itself. And that's how I got into router protocol. I was doing internship over there as well. They saw my progress, 4 months, 5 months. The internship went, and then they converted me into like a full-time. And that's how I started getting into Starknet as well. Starknet is always close to my heart. And what do I say? That's how my whole journey started. And from router protocol, I had few companies in my mind that I always wanted to work. One was Starkware itself. Since I was always a dev within the ecosystem, I never had a chance to interact with those cracked devs. But I slowly started progressing. I got an offer from Nethermind as a Cairo auditor. And I started working at Nethermind as a Cairo auditor for about 3-4 months. And luckily, since I was contributing within the Starknet ecosystem, there was this thing called OnlyDust. Not sure if you guys are aware of it. It was the best platform for any dev. Imagine there was a lot of repository. You see a problem, you could just go and start contributing, and you start earning based on that. So that's how I got into Starknet, and I just started contributing. And luckily, the Starkware ecosystem had an opening, and I just approached them, and that's pretty much it. And right now, I'm working at Starkware as an ecosystem manager. I've been looking into DevRel, BD, and growths and grants and funding for the past 2 years. And yeah, I was working in the ecosystem as a dev and slowly transitioned into working alongside with them. So that's how my journey was.
Amazing. Yeah, and I just want to touch upon a few key things from all of you, right? Coming back to, you mentioned you were studying biology.
Yeah.
How did you go from biology to like Ethereum, and what made you think that, okay, this is the space for me?
Yeah, so it's actually a funny story. I used to do computer science when I was maybe 8th standard, 7th standard, but I never did after that. I was just doing this biology NEET exam, and I even took a drop year to do NEET exam. But then that's when Corona happened, right? So I was in my home, very bored, and that's when I actually started learning web designing, just do bunch of websites using the CMS builders or whatever it is. And I landed a client from Mexico where I was basically building a dating site for him in Mexico. And this is where actually everything started. That client offered me to pay in Ethereum. This was 2020, early 2020, when Ethereum was maybe 17, 20,000 rupees. At the time, I didn't even know what Ethereum Bitcoin was. Maybe I've heard it once in news or somewhere, but then I never heard what actually it is. And then he said, I'll teach you what Ethereum is, and you should get the money in Ethereum, because if I send you the money in PayPal, you're going to lose so much money. And I still remember I was giving my NEET exam at the time, and in about 2 weeks, the money that he gave me in Ethereum, almost I guess increased by 30% or something. And I was like, what is this? And that's when actually I started learning the white paper of Bitcoin. And I realized how dumb I was at the time. And I couldn't understand anything that was written there. And at the time I was reading up on a bunch of blogs as well, how can Satoshi, the white paper has addressed any potential problems for next 50 years. So it's what am I doing? So this is when I started actually diving deep into doing technical readings and all this stuff. I still don't call myself a hardcore engineer, but I like to do experiment new stuff and come from a perspective that if there is a problem that we could solve, more like a product onto use the tech that's possible. And I felt Web3 as a space was very open. And I was working with a bunch of Indian companies every now and then, not really in dev aspect, but then more like a community, writing and all those stuff. And slowly I realized this is the place I wanted to be, because it was pretty, like I said, it's very open. Anyone can do anything. You don't have to ask permission, right? And I actually quoted it wrong. My first ETHIndia hackathon was 2022. I still remember I was having semester exams, Friday I was having an semester exam, and Monday I was having a semester exam. The hackathon was Saturday, Sunday. I've never taken a flight before, but then I realized I should go for this. And ETHIndia 2022 was actually a changer. And that's when I realized there are a lot of people actually trying to build something. And I spoke to a bunch of people, then I realized these are the things that I should keep track of and then probably learn more about. And in about a year I was able to crack you have to be decently good enough to understand the technical concepts of basic Web3 and just keep talking to people and understand all the pain points. There are so many pain points in Web3. And eventually in 2023, I got a hang of it. I would say 2023 December is when I got a hang of it. Now I know, okay, who you should be talking to if you have a problem and you want to solve it, you should be talking to the users and then trying to understand how you can do it. And 2023 is when I joined Push. And I think 2023 itself, I joined them as a partner at the ETHIndia itself. So it was a really good ride from being a non-tech guy to actually becoming a partner for a company in ETHIndia. So that's the journey, yeah.
So do you think just, because you mentioned something very interesting, right? Just focusing on building products, and then was your approach to then learn the technology behind it, to build it in that sense?
Yeah, so I've always thought, since I don't come from an engineering background, so I've always thought in a way that, okay, now the user needs this thing. They want to send money to their grandma. They don't know how to use, maybe complex apps, or maybe they don't even know how to use your phone properly. But they do know how to call, right? So what if there's a way I could just maybe build an app that lets you maybe use your mobile number to send a Bitcoin, whatever it is. So now I go from this idea to the tech. Whatever helps me reach that faster, I do it. That was the approach. And most of the times, at the time, I guess you just ask Google, you just research for a bit, for maybe a couple of days. You will end up with what you want, and then probably you ship it. But I guess 2022 November is when OpenAI ChatGPT was launched. So pretty much from then it's just go ask AI, it has an answer for everything. So you could just build anything technically possible. So.
And this is what you do even now in your free time?
Yeah, that's what I do. Even right now, I've been building products every now and then, though that are directly correlated to what I want in crypto space. For example, as an investor or a user, I want this app. So I want to see it get built. I've used multiple other alternatives. These are not really the user experience that I want. So I end up trying to build this app and then like probably have a few people working with me, and mostly I'll be using AI to kind of like, kind of get the entire technical architecture or whatever it is. And I guess like 40% you can get things done. Maybe like the last 20, 30% is like where you actually need someone to, technical enough to kind of like help you get that finishing line. But I guess like you can pretty much ship anything today with AI, with the tools available today for free, right? So yeah.
Makes sense. So there's some interesting insights there, right? If you just keep thinking about what products should exist and work backwards to make them exist, I think that's a very valuable skill. And from what I understand, people will pay good money for that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things that I've seen in hackathons, hackathon participants' perspective is that they think this is a cool thing to build, but they don't really understand that will I get users when I build this product, right? Who are my users, right? If you come the other way, like there are so much demand in this. Like you can take an example of FOMO app, right? The FOMO app is a very, very I would say like Web 2 kind of an experience of buying and trading in crypto. I was using the app for almost 1 week, and I didn't even realize I was actually I was buying multiple tokens of like Solana and different chains, but I only deposited USDC on base. I didn't even realize I was doing so much things under the hood. So that's the abstraction, and those are the apps that get viral because it makes it so dead simple for people to use, right? So those are the types of apps I actually look for, and you kind of like come back from the users' requirements and go back to building the app itself. So yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like you summarized it pretty well. That's a cool approach to have, for sure. Like reverse engineering the public demand and seeing what is the quickest way to get there. For sure, and with AI, it's even more simpler now.
From your perspective, I wanted to touch upon one bit because I know you were involved in Kernel, right? And Kernel is like, for those of you who don't know, Kernel is like one of the OG educational cohort-based, programs which helped people get deeper into Web3. You were also involved in creating the curriculum and helping how that, that shaped up for a lot of people. Where did you see a lot of people sort of drop off, right? And do you think that there is something that you could have told them in that moment that, that you now know that could have helped them cross that chasm?
So you mean dropped off in the cohort
Yes.
okay.
Yes, the cohort.
So one of the biggest learning was that people are going to drop off. It's going to be less than 50% completion rate in any cohort-based course that you put together. And when we started looking into the metrics of online courses, that is what we got to know, that this is the reality everywhere. So, and this is what we observed as well so it was an 8-week course. After third week, we started seeing a drop-off. Usually the kickoff is the best. Like even at ETHIndia hackathons, let's say, you might have observed this. So day 1 or first hour is usually the most energetic, and eventually people start dropping off or they start forming cliques, and which is a good sign. So sometimes dropping off isn't really a bad thing. You want people to connect with each other and go off and form their own groups, as long as it is overall a net benefit for whatever is being built in the thing. So for ETHIndia, it's going to be hackathon projects. For Kernel, it was individual projects. So in terms of helping helping people to stay on, allowing us to retain them, what we did was we tried to bring back the day 1 energy on third week. So right when the drop-off was about to happen, we did another kickoff for the next 3 weeks, or we would bring a demo day in, or we would bring something that would allow people to come together once again and discover another set of people. So what usually happens is kickoffs or the first few hours are when people meet each other for the very first time. They start making new connections, and then they stick with those connections. And that is when the drop-off happens, and sometimes they will go off and form new groups. But now you want them to meet other people as well, so you bring that energy and chaos again at third week mark, and see if they can meet a new set of people. And this is also something that they can look forward to from day one. So that is like a little bit of programming that we had to do inside of kernel.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And for you personally, what has been the most interesting part of being this space? Like you deciding to be in this space versus like just other spaces? Is there something that has held you?
I realized I was pretty dumb outside of crypto. I did try. I'm not gonna lie. It was last year. I was on a sabbatical, but I realized like, well, one, I can't really function outside of crypto. It is a bubble, and I'm very deep into it. And other was allows you to grow as quickly as in crypto. There's no other ecosystem where you can discover a community and sort of stick with it and actually make real change. And real change is very subjective because it's not like you'll be able to work with the users, but it is very likely that you might end up having a lunch with Vitalik, and it is very much a reality in this space. I mean, if you could be like, even during my first hackathon at ETHIndia, I remember us, right after the hackathon, right after the closing ceremony, us as a team, we ended up bumping into one of the ETH researchers at Ethereum Foundation. We didn't even realize we were sitting next to him, and we ended up having a dinner together. And we ended up talking about neuroscience and Ethereum Foundation and research and privacy and all of that, which I was very new to all of these concepts, so I barely understood the conversation we were having. But the fact that there was this chance of sharing a dinner with someone who has literally created Ethereum was insane. And it is still possible today. The community is very, very within reach. Very likely that you know someone who can get you in touch with someone who can end up giving you the opportunity that you're seeking. So this is something that I realized is only possible in crypto, which is what keeps bringing me back. The cohesiveness that is present in this ecosystem is unmatched, and the playground that is available. It's not even till today, I would say we are very early. So there's a lot that can be built. There's a lot where you can get to, and there's a lot of opportunities that lie. So it really just depends on what you're looking for.
Makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Crypto is definitely one of the most, or I think the most networked, closely knit community, and if you have the right intentions and go about them if you know what you're doing, it is definitely possible to get to places and open doors which will be otherwise closed to you, right? I think that's one of the most exciting parts of the space.
I'd just like to add, so this is something that Siddesh also mentioned just now, like ETHIndia was one of my first flights as well. And even here, talking to hackers, I realized a lot of people are here in between their college exams, and that is such a high signal, because if you think about it, if an ecosystem or if a community convinces you to take a flight and you're happy with that community, wherever you go, you feel welcomed, that is in itself a high signal that this is somewhere that you'll always feel welcomed, and this is somewhere where you always find something to build, something to work on. And a lot of people that I know ended up being in this space because they ended up making lifelong friends, or they found an initiative they wanted to spend their entire life on. And that is very rare, at least from what I had heard from my parents or from my elder siblings. And I'm lucky enough to be in this space.
Perfect. I like that something like Angela mentioned, right? I find like the Web3 builders, the founders are very, very open. I still remember just tweeting saying, I'm building something with Hardalo 1, but I'm not able to do it. Our user replies to that tweet and like sends exact resources I should be looking into. And another thing is like, even if it's a weekend or whatever it is, I guess like crypto builders are like very, very, very passionate about what they're doing. So I feel like anything you need, you're stuck or some of the tools are not working, you just message them or tweet it out. You have a guy from the team actually hopping on a call with you to just help you out. I've never seen this much in a Web2 space, right? Web2 people like end their job at 9 to 5. You have a doubt at like, let's say you ask a question Friday at 5 p.m., you're gonna get a reply on Monday 9 a.m. Which is like, I feel like Web3 is that's where Web3 excels. Like you can, it's an open space that lets you like pretty much like you want some help, we got it. So that's what I feel. Yeah.
I'd like to add something on this. There's a particular incident that's very close to my heart. So I did apply for Nethermind, but I got rejected because of my previous company's certain rules and regulations. For example, the particular catch was the internship that I was working, they had given their contracts to audit at Nethermind. And hence now I can't go and join them at least for a year or two. So that was the clause. But I flew to Turkey, Istanbul for 2023 ETH Global. And there was this conference from Starknet, and Thomas was talking over there. And I was like, okay, Thomas is going to talk, and then he's going to come down. Then I'm going to just stop him, and I just give him a quick intro about me. And then I'm like, Thomas, this is what I do, this is what I do. So he just came down, and I just told him, and I was just rapping to him. I was like, hey, I'm Akash, and I do this. This is what I do at Starknet. This is what I do for Nethermind, this, that, this. My application got rejected because of this. He was like, dude, chill. Let's take a picture first. And we take a picture, and then he sends, I take the picture. I send him a DM on TG, and he says, let's meet in the next mixer party, which is tomorrow. So I'm like, okay. He said, let's meet at the mixer party at 8 p.m. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like full buckled up. I'm going to the mixer party. It's about 8:15, 8:30. I still like look at the time, and like Thomas is not there. And I'm like quite pissed and like quite annoyed. Because I was really expecting, because I thought this would go through, and I'm really waiting for Thomas. And there was like, vodka. I just took vodka and I just drank, and I just went and sat for some time. And like after I drank, and like after 10, 15 minutes, he comes with a whole suitcase, full formally dressed. He walks in, and I'm like, shit, I'm drunk. What do I go and talk to him now? I go to him, I just go in front of him, and I'm like, hey Thomas, I'm Akash. And I just realize that he's more drunk than me. And he's more drunk than me. And then we go, we sit, we drink, and then he suddenly pulls up his mobile. He's got some, like their own portal or something. He just puts my name in it, and he says, great, rejected. And rejected by whom? It's Thomas himself. So it was rejected by Thomas itself. So there's like 4 layers. Like,
as you were drinking with him?
No, it was already rejected by him. He had already rejected me. He saw that, and then he spun up a quick group with the Nethermind team, and he got things moving. And like within 2 to 3 weeks, I got into Nethermind as a Cairo auditor. So that's like an incident that's very close to my heart, because a CEO of that level, and just because Siddesh also mentioned, this is not something that you would be able to do in Web 2, right? You cannot approach a CEO, and you can't expect him to reply. You're not obliged to get a reply from him. But Thomas was so kind-hearted. He just stuck to his words, and he just came and he just trusted me. So yeah, that's very close to my heart.
So the moral is get the person who's trying to hire you drunk, and then convince them to hire you. Interesting. Only in Web3.
You never know. Yeah.
Cool. I just wanted to ask one final thing. Like, are there any mistakes that you feel you see these developers or builders doing, and it just irks you because you have been doing that, you have done that yourself over the years? Is there something in particular that you'd like people to tell people that just don't do that? One is definitely take care of your pass. Don't put your your keys in your env file, right? But what else?
So being very transparent, I think this is something that would help every developers here. First thing is, do not jump around different hackathons trying to earn bounties and hackathon, don't jump around different hackathons. It's good to experiment, but once you've attained a good level of experimentations, once you've attained that, it's your time to now stick to an ecosystem. In my case, it was Starknet. I got into Starknet at 2021, and until now I'm just stuck because I trust them. Like I trust the tech, I trust the team. So how would you stick to an ecosystem? Like what matters to you, right? Like there are few things. Like for example, this could be like in terms of, imagine how the team is, like what is their background, what have they done in the past, how well are they responding, how well is the ecosystem, how well is the developers, are they really responsive to you? If you're building on top of them, what value are you able to provide to them? What value are you able to get? Are you able to grow from here? So these are like few factors that you need to look into. There's good amount of experimentations that's being done so far. it's nice, but I think there should be a point where you should be like, okay, enough. I need to stick to an ecosystem, build a product on top of them, rather than move around and just do bounty huntings and stuff. So that's one. And the other one, I think it's about networking and being very active on Twitter. You might be building a lot of stuff. Not a lot of people would be aware of what you're building, and I think it's very important for you to talk about it on Twitter, tag relevant people from the ecosystem, talk about what you're building. I know it's like an Indian mentality that people would not want to talk about themselves in very publicly, but it's very important for you to talk about yourself and about your project and tag relevant people. That's what gets people's eyes, and that's how opinion.
Perfect. And thank you all for giving your time today. And this is just the start of the conversation. Please find these amazing folks. I hope you folks will hang around for a bit, watch the demos, and continue the conversation with them. Thanks a lot. All right. Next up, we have a special guest with us today. I heard he throws amazing dosa parties at Rameshwaram. That's what he's most famous for. But I also want to talk to him about some serious stuff. Right? Thanks for joining us. All right, perfect. So Ashwari, a quick brief about you. Like, you're pretty much as core Polygon it gets to me, and you seem to have a lot of alpha on a lot of things. So definitely the alpha guy that I think a lot of people in the ecosystem look towards. But I'd want to just touch upon a bit about you and your journey into Polygon. What were you doing right before you joined, and how did you end up in Polygon?
Yeah, I mean, it was started being like, I think back in 2018, I completed my CA. And before that, actually, I was like giving my CA finals, and it was like, okay, this is the 4th attempt. If it does not happen now, I'm quitting CA. And I already joined like actually a political boot camp. So I was like taking the political classes, was meeting, so this was like the last election. So I was actually, 2018, I was in the core committee of BJP to actually go out and start working on this. Luckily or unluckily, I don't know. I actually passed on the 4th attempt. And then everyone was like, no, you need to go back to like CA. So I actually worked like a lot of like my work, and like the first big, like the longest time I worked was with American Express. And the major use case there was around like moving money across the world, intercompany loans, taking FX hedges. And that's where like being on the job, I learned how inefficient the payments market ecosystem is. So it's, and then like I think Ripple, like Amex invested in Ripple back in 2018. And that's why like Ripple used to do these deals like basically you need to do one pilot with us, and you need to show the market that there is something happening. And like that's where like I started looking at blockchain. And we did like the first example, and I got crazy about blockchains. I was like, this is how you will actually solve the world hunger. And like you will actually go out and get all that adoption and use cases. But then like they showed us like how like right now the market is not ready. But that was like how I got instigated towards blockchain.
This was at American Express?
Yeah, this was 2018-19.
And they were exploring Ripple?
Yeah. They were invested, and like basically the way Ripple used to operate even till today is like whenever they do a partnership deal, they often ask like, can you do some pilots with us? So we were doing like this innovation labs pilots, and then like I think COVID hit. So Amex's revenue tanked like 71% because most of their revenue was travel business. So nobody was traveling in COVID, and like then they shut down all that innovation lab, and I was like thrown back into like go and do your regular stuff. I was like, I'm not doing this regular stuff anymore. Yeah, I think that's where I left. I joined very briefly Zeppe for like 3-4 months. Then I joined like a crypto bank, Amina Bank. And then like by 2021 November, I joined Polygon. So core idea was, like my first role was basically someone who can work between a marketing team and the DeFi team to like make each other understand what they do. Because I used to teach at that time, like 2018, 19, like most of my knowledge is after teaching. So a lot of that came from there. So my role was, okay, the DeFi team says something, the marketing team has no idea what they're saying. Can you be an intermediary in between and solve this problem? So that was like my first role. Fast forward today, like I take care of the entire business vertical except gaming. All the vertical which is across payments, tokenization, anything and everything that is happening globally from a business development perspective, that is what I take care of.
Amazing. And wait, so when you were getting into like this crypto bit, right? You said that, okay, one part of it is because at American Express they were exploring this, right?
Correct.
But then that was still part of your job at American Express. But when you decided to go into ZepPay and then Polygon, like going like full degrees into like more degrees into like crypto, did you think that I'm going into a space like with some uncertainty because you're more of a TradFi guy and you know everything is very stable in this industry and also the government sort of likes one side clearly more, even though you might think that the other side is more efficient.
It's true, I think. So, I mean, like, there was a huge wave of, like, uncertainties in the brain, which were like, no, you should not do it. Like, my human brain, my normal brain was like, this is not the path you should get. And, like, when I was leaving American Express, the first role that I got was not even in ZepPay. It was a marketing manager in CoinDCX. So, being a CA, I was getting a marketing role, and my brain was like, what are you exactly trying to do? Because this is not you. You cannot do marketing. You're not a marketer. And like being a CA, like the first thing that you think about CA is they are like, they don't want to talk to people. They just want to be like, they want to do their work, and that's pretty much it. So this is like, you're going into a space which is completely unexplored. I think something that helped me a lot was, I actually did a executive course at IM at that point. They did not teach me anything, for sure. I mean, I was teaching them blockchain. But the good thing was that a lot of those people, because I was teaching them blockchain, they actually started having a lot of faith in me. They were like, this guy knows a lot of things, and this guy. So when I was leaving American Express, a lot of these, they're like mentors, because my batch at that time was like average 12 years experience. So there were CAs who became CA when I was not even born, that kind of people. And they were like, okay, you should go and take the plunge. If you fail, we will hire you because we know you are a good hire, so we will hire you. So I had like 5, 6 of these kinds of mentors who were effectively telling me that go take the risk. And if you fail, there's no problem. Even Amex told me, like, if you want to come back, we are more than happy to take you back. So I think that was a lot of security. Maybe they never took me back, or like, maybe that is what they say to every employee who leaves. But like that was like a very good kind of a comfort question. Because the day, I think my last day at American Express, next day this whole ban thing came into the market, which was I don't know if you remember 21 earlier, there was this DPEG between USDT and you could buy USDT at 55 rupees. So where like people were like, this is gonna get banned, and I'm like, shit. I like literally yesterday was my last day at Amex, and tomorrow I think the government is banning. So I probably need all these mentors now because I need a new job. But I think, yeah, good thing. Like that was kind of something. Then the like, good thing happened is like ZepPay actually was hiring for a treasury manager, which was like I was a treasury manager at Amex. So I was like, okay, this is like a little bit similar job, but in the Web3 side. Okay, worth taking the plunge. I mean, they were giving a good pay, worth a plunge, and that's why like, so then I did not end up going to DCX. I went and like ended up at ZepPay.
Perfect. And do you think we'll see, you said you're not a marketer, but do you are now quite famous having the Milady and like, a lot of people get to know about a lot of things from you, right? Do you think we'll see more CAs adopting Miladies like you?
I mean, of course, like they should. I mean, I've been like, so one of the things that I've always been doing is like, I've always tried to train a lot of my friends. So a lot of my friends actually like help out in like from a crypto trading perspective for these things. And like right now I'm in process of helping like 4 of my friends to set up like a proper crypto firm for accounting in Dubai right now. And I mean, yes, so I want all these people to actually come in because there is a massive amount of opportunity. And like we can kind of go out and have like insane outcomes out of it. So definitely, like I'm 100% for it.
Perfect. What are the most exciting things, in your opinion, for the year ahead that you think we'll see? What sort of trends that we'll see happening? Maybe also from an India perspective, what do you think will happen?
I mean, globally, if you look at it, there's going to be 2 things which will happen in the next 2 years. One is all the blockchains which do not have revenue will go to zero. And all the so either like most of these blockchains have to pivot and start working on generating revenue, or like in 2 years there'll be a consolidation because like we all wanted TradFi to come in, but TradFi is not like looking at crypto Twitter and saying, oh wow, this token has so much value because it has so much like volumes. They want to look at what is your revenue. They want to look at like basically how the money is getting generated, how they can actually use that money to kind of either go out and have like buybacks or like create an actual utility of the token. So all these announcements that people would do and like expect, okay, my token will pump, is gonna go away. And so either like you actually pivot. So we are seeing a lot of like even ourselves, like we have kind of started working on revenue, like the revenue is already accruing. We are signing a lot of dollar contracts, which are like actually getting paid in dollar to kind of go out and give. So, I mean, that is where I see the value is coming in, and like I've designed the entire BD team now to go out and do that. India, per se, I think the laws and regulations are still not clear. One line is like there's a lot of political pressure like on the government to actually go out and do things in the world. But I think the still biggest challenge is like who takes that initiative and like regulates it. That is still, I think, at large. There is no clear kind of regulator who's going out and doing that. Like your FIU does not actually regulate crypto. It just ensures that you are not laundering money or it's like under the PMLA Act. So FIU doesn't like govern crypto, and there is no regulatory body that is actually governing crypto. So whether in the next 1 year there will be a body, I feel so, because the pressure is that much, like it is mounting.
Do you think, okay, first of all, what are your thoughts on DEF CON?
Being in India?
Yeah.
I mean, I had to like shut my mouth for 6 months, man. So, I mean, 100%, the good thing is like, this is also bringing a lot of policy level conversations. Like we are facilitating a lot of EF compliance side and policy side to actually go and talk to the government side, which is good because then like an international like bodies coming in from like a perspective of like going and giving their views on how they have worked and functioned across the world and that. So that would actually help us a lot. Probably by next DevCon, this gives more and more knowledge into the regulatory side. So I think it's a net positive thing, a very good thing, because ultimately, like when you see all that thing happening in front of your eyes, because right now it's all hearsay. Like Argentina DevConnect was very big. Okay, how do I know? Photos can be like anyone can put all the photos, whatever they want. So now it's good because they can actually go out and see all that happening in action in front of them. And then like, yeah, the noise would be good enough to actually put more things into perspective from the blockchain world.
Yeah, so it's interesting about Argentina. To be really honest, I was there and I expected more of the lay people to understand crypto better.
They don't.
And I did not feel that enough of them understand crypto or like I did have some very interesting conversations with some taxi drivers. They did seem to hold crypto, but it was more like they're seeing it go up and down. It's more investment, right? So from an India perspective, this is even harder, right, than Argentina. Like because Argentina, at least, I mean, it's not a good thing, but they have unstable currency, like, and they have like the fintechs infrastructure. We are ahead of that, so it's a little more tougher for us, right? Don't you think so?
It is, but like from like on the hindsight, the reason why, like if you look at the global currencies, INR from like being one of the top economies, INR is the only currency which is majorly getting deflated against the dollar. If you look at all the other currencies which are like tangible enough, they have actually strengthened against dollar. And that whole reason for going out and doing that is to boost exports. So the government is actually trying to go out and is okay like devaluing INR just to boost the exports. This is not happening because Indian currency is like losing value. It's like it is, of course, like as a byproduct it is, but the major reason why this is happening is ultimately because they want to ensure that the more and more exports can actually happen. So if US puts more duties and sanctions, you have like more money coming in because your dollar is more like cheaper for like because you're getting more revenue.
Yeah, I definitely do not see all of these software consultancies or anybody complaining about things like
That's
it's not
exactly
necessarily the worst. If you're earning in dollars, you're
Correct.
like in the good.
So there would be a point, and like the problem for INR is because INR is not like fully convertible. I mean, a lot of trade and a lot of volume actually happens in US dollars. So when you use Swift network, you cannot do transactions in INR because like Swift, for you to be in currency on Swift, you have to be fully convertible. And like you have capital controls on INR, so you cannot convert it. And what dollar has done is like petrodollar was losing its demand. But like if you look at it from today's perspective, dollar was always a B2B product. But now it's a B2C product. Like how many of you pre-crypto actually held dollars in with you? Almost nobody would have been. And today, like as a retail, everyone is holding dollars. So what has happened is basically like if you look at Ray Dalio's thesis, it was absolutely bang on. That was exactly what was happening. And then the USDC and the USDT came into the world, and they basically created a blip into that ecosystem, and they made like US dollar from B2B to B2C. Now, as a customer, like in India, you have this rule: you cannot hold, I think, more than $10,000 as an Indian citizen. But I think a lot of people in this room will be holding more than that. So that is where the problem is coming in, because ultimately what is happening is that revenue which you are earning in dollars, you're not converting it into INR. So what is happening is basically a lot of reserves that the RBI used to get. Because of this, they are losing out. And that's why it is becoming more, it is getting more pressured on the RBI to actually go out and figure out how to solve for it. And that's why the government is reacting against it, because this is what they're looking at. They're looking at like the dollar is not reaching them, which is in strengthening our treasury as a country, volume numbers, how much volume actually India is processing. So the first thing you go is to the exchanges, and you see like, okay, if there is, let's say, hypothetically $1 billion trading every day, the exchanges should have more than 60%, 70% of that volume. But when you go to these exchanges, they barely have 5%. Where is the 95%? So that 95% is actually kind of moving in the form of USDT, USDC, and that is what is creating a lot of that tension in the government side. So if you understand this tension, you know where the government is coming from. It's not that they don't understand blockchain, they have an economy to run, and like basically this whole thing is kind of putting a lot of pressure on the balance sheet of India unknowingly, and that is where they get worried, and hence they immediately discard like the entire thesis of crypto and blockchain and like stable coins.
Yeah, the interesting dynamics there, and let's see how all of that plays out, right? Super excited for the focus of like, at least Ethereum is going to be India for the next year,
Yes.
right? Before I let you go, I just want, like we have so many builders here today, right? What is some advice that you think that builders, you wish that builders had? Especially the kind of builders that generally come to hackathons, or if you see who are trying to build products.
I think getting behind a problem, that has been like one of the biggest things I would say. Like if you identify a problem, like a lot of that, you have to go out and focus on how to solve that problem. A lot of builders, like what they do, and this is my experience talking for the last 4 years, is like a lot of builders are actually more towards, okay, we will build this because like there is something that I'm getting out of it short term. And that is actually kind of going out and ruining a lot of long-term visions for a lot of people who actually have that. So they get into peer pressure like, oh, my friend actually made this money and paid the whole college fees. and I'm still stuck with like solving this problem. So why should I do it? So it's setting up the wrong precedents from what you wanted to solve. So instead of you actually working and coming into the blockchain world to solve a problem, you're actually getting into that short-term vision, and like you're trying to focus, okay, because this is something which I can get in like 5 months or 2 months or 3 months, I should go out and do this because this is quick gain, which is good. Like you should go out and do that, and like I'm not saying, I'm not against that. But what you need to also figure out is like there is a problem that you want to come in and solve for that. So you should have that long-term vision, and the short-term things could be like a short-term gain so that you can continue to go out and fund your long-term vision rather than you just take this short-term incentive, use it, and like move forward. I think that is one big thing.
Makes sense. So this is also comes back to what, you know, in the earlier panel Siddesh was saying, right? And the others also echoed that if you actually go out and build products, now people will notice. Eventually, it might take some time, but people will notice, and that adds long-term value, right? Rather than just going behind, you know, short-term, just winning like hackathons, right? But cool. I know you are pressed for time at the India Blockchain Week, and but really appreciate you making it here all the way. And yeah, hope to catch you at some Rameshwaram again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
Cool. All right, next up we have the final panel for today before we head into the demos. And this is something that we don't usually see at a lot of hackathons, right? But we want to try and see if we can make a change. Wanted to talk about a bit about GTM and distribution in the Web3 ecosystem. And for that, I thought who better than Rajanshi and Kunal. So please welcome Rajanshi and Kunal to the panel. So yeah. Yeah, all right. I'll start with Rajanshi. Rajanshi, so I heard you work for the FBI. Like, what's that about?
What's that about? So I lead the base India community. That's FBI. It's Farcaster Builders International, and yeah, we are bringing India on chain with FBI. That's what I do right now.
Perfect. And Kunal, you work for like AI or like some sort of AI chat like system that tells all of us how to trade?
Yeah, so I lead marketing at HeyElsa. HeyElsa is a DeFi AI product. The way you use any chat interface to do whatever AI that you do, we do something similar, but for crypto. Like you just put a prompt and Elsa takes care of the transaction.
Makes sense. I wanted to touch upon how did you get into Web3, right? What were you doing right before this? How did you get into it, and how it's going?
So I started my career with events at the Leela Palace. I handled events for them for 4 months. Then I left it. I was like, no, I can't do this. And because I didn't like the work culture there. And my brother, he has been into this space for good 7-8 years. He introduced me to Web3.
Okay.
And I started with a small community in Avalanche ecosystem, grew that. Then I went to cross-chain ecosystem, and now I'm here at FBI. I got into FBI through the fellowship. I was one of the creators for them, and they loved me. I'm still here. Yeah.
Amazing. And what about you, Kunal?
Oh, I don't know, it's a long story. So I come with a decade-long marketing experience. And my last Web2 job was leading marketing at this big data AI company. So I was like third, fourth employee there. It became big enough, we got acquired, and then I was looking for my next challenge. And one of my friends who now leads marketing at Eigen, Pratik, we always knew each other for very long, and this was pre-COVID, and we always used to follow each other on whatever social media, and he one day reached out to me for some other role, saying maybe you should look at this as your next challenge. I said, I don't know, let's get on a call. And then I started asking him question that what the hell you are doing? Like you just vanished from the scene that was here, you moved to SF, whatever. And he told me now I got into crypto, and my first reaction was, oh, isn't that a scam? Because whenever someone used to approach me before that, I always tell them, this is a scam, stay away from it. But then he told me, no, dude, you need to learn more. You are an idiot. Let me make you aware of it. And we started talking about it. And I said, dude, I'm pumped. Just tell me what I can do here. He said, maybe, start small. You write well, so maybe help bunch of founders to handle their Twitter. And that was again new to me. That is how I got into the CT. I started helping one of the founders to run their Twitter. They liked me a lot, and they eventually asked me to lead their marketing. And it's been 5 years of sleepless nights, working over weekends and everything else. But yeah, it's fun. Now I'm with Elsa. I've done everything that is out there in terms of marketing GTM in crypto for the last 5 years. Build agencies, build companies, help builders, everything you name it, I've done it.
Yeah, 5 years is like probably 50 years in like.
Yeah, 5 years is like, they say that 5 years in crypto is like you get older faster, and 10 years in tune with Web2 jobs, yeah.
Perfect. Rajanshi, I wanted to talk to you about this whole thing, right? Like, when you came into the space, I think a lot of the space traditionally has been focused on very technical builders, right? At least that's the way it is in India. Do you think that, there is some reason that has slowly started changing now? And do you think like that trend is going to accelerate? And also, do you think like how can these builders also learn those sort of missing skills in their skill set?
Well, actually, that is very true. That's why I joined FBI, right? I've always loved community, how people come together to help each other, but that has always been a builder community. But with FBI, it's not just builders, it's marketers, creators, builders, all coming together, helping each other improve upon their skills as well as the product. So builder nowadays, they are not just building tech, they are also building their reputation out there. They have to be present on CT, which was last cycle, I believe, but it's still true. Like, you have to speak out loud about your product or else it will be lost. So, yeah, like, I see this trend coming and everyone should definitely be on it. Like, they shouldn't just be behind their desk building products and leaving it. They need to know how to market it right. And if not market it right, have the right circle, right? Be in good communities where you can get help. The first panel that you guys did, Siddesh and all, they were very right on the point that this is the space where you don't even have to ask for help. You just have to put yourself out there, and there are people out there who will help you regardless. You don't even have to ask for help. You just have to ask, okay, this is the problem I'm facing. And you will get not hundreds, but tens of DMs of people helping you out. So leverage that, because that might change in the future, right? This is the time you can leverage it max. That's my perspective on it.
Yeah, and do you think okay, what's the easiest way to do this? Like, what's the most straightforward? Like, I'm a builder, I'm like at my desk. What's the bare minimum I should be doing, in your opinion?
Be in the FBI chat. That's the bare minimum. And tag me with all your doubts, with all your questions. Whom should you be connected to? And I'll help you out, right? I'll help you out connecting. Like, Kunal is there, always present in our chat, and he helps out hundreds of builders throughout the week while building Hey Elsa AI. He's there. And who else? Sumedha is there if you need creator help. Soumya is there. Denver is there. Like, we are all there to help you. Just tag us there. Yeah.
And yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, how do you keep up with all of the madness that happens in CT, right? And because from my understanding, unless you keep up, it's like a double-edged sword, right? You definitely need to keep up with things, otherwise you won't be able to understand, get perspective. You will be behind, right? If you probably don't look at Farcast or Twitter for a week, you're already like behind, right? How do you keep up with that? And then also, how do you try and just build that distribution also?
Oh, I wish there was some method to this madness. Unfortunately, there is no method to this madness. What I can essentially do is, I think there are some tactical things you need to do, and you will find tons of advices around that how do you keep up with what are happening in the ecosystem. But until unless you are very passionate about building in crypto, you will never get that sort of energy to do things. And I realized this after spending 5 years here, is that until unless you are very much into it, you will always have excuses to run away from it. So best way is do what you love, and if you love it, things will unfold. So tons of people come to me and ask me, oh, how are you able to like do this, do that? I said, dude, I end up having time in my day. It's like if I were to do it, it's just 2-3 hours a day where until unless it calls, which I avoid most of the time, I end up having tons of time. If it was to me, I would like do more tweets, do tons of other things and everything else. Essentially, it has to come from a place of love. If you are passionate about this, you will always find time. And this is not just about me. People I know, they love this space so much, they always end up having good amount of time to do it. Now, on the tactical level, see, there are two things you can always do. One, follow just one ecosystem. Don't hop from one ecosystem to other ecosystem, and then it makes it very hard for you to follow through and understand what all people are there. Focus on one ecosystem, align yourself there, find who are the top folks there, be in touch with them. That is one. Second, I mean, at least from the Twitter perspective, create like tons of lists that you can check out every day, which makes your feed a bit more coherent, where you can figure out, okay, these are the people I definitely want to be in touch with every day. So there are tons of people you will find in base where, I have done those lists. Like I have at least 10, 15 lists on my Twitter, which these are the people I want to follow every day. And if you're a builder, specifically since there are tons of builders here, I would say focus on one ecosystem. Make it base, but you have a choice. But make it like one ecosystem which you can focus on, and then connect with those people. And on Twitter, talk about what you're building, tagging those people. I think this is the best strategy you can go after if you're building.
Makes sense. What has been like one of the most impressive, which team in your opinion, of course you can name your own teams, but which team in your opinion has done a good job with the whole distribution, GTM and distribution game in recent memory? And what do you think like people can learn from them?
I would say Boundless.
Boundless?
Yeah,
okay.
I loved the campaign. I loved how it wasn't just about crypto at first. They tried to gauge everyone, and then they did the education distribution. It was open to all, and then they moved it to education, and that too by the key berries that they call, right? Key people who were there distributing regularly for them. They picked them, those who got the tech, and then they did the educational drive that really helped get distribution through those people who are really using their platform enough to distribute it from day one with Boundless. That's what I loved, and yeah, that's a campaign which I still like. Yeah.
Pretty nice. I do remember like the whole Boundless thing, like where for a certain period of time, like that was everything, all what people could talk about, and everybody was all about, we are part of it, and we are verifying it, like, you really felt that you are doing and contributing to the ecosystem,
The
right?
momentum was really nice. Like they started with easy distribution, then it was educational, then distribution through that, and then the verification part came in. Okay, you are now interested, you know what it is, and then the distribution through verification came in. And everyone was trying it, everyone was verifying.
Do you have a favorite among the base projects so far?
Among
Or at least your base fellowship projects?
Bitmore. I love
Bitmore.
Bitmore, guys. It's a very nice product, very clean UI UX, and it's really something that you need, right? I don't know if they have like introduced all the features yet, but the one that has, okay, you can just start with a $1 investment and get that BTC which you cry to buy as a whole. That's amazing. I love them. Yeah.
What do you, Kunal?
Oh, we'll need like 1 hour for that. List.
You're
I would say health for sure.
Yeah.
I like whatever others are doing, but we have built it from the hard place. So I'm very much like, I know like there are tons of other done like really beautiful campaigns and everything, but we have done the hard work. So we are brought in the volume on the metrics that matters the most. 300 million in last 1 year.
That's crazy.
300 million to the last dollar. So, and I'm not a big, beautiful campaign guy. I don't like them at all. I'm a hardcore crypto marketer. So any product that does crypto to the last bit of it, great. So that is Healsa. But at the same time, I'm a NCMO for tons of other products. And you will see me talking about those products a lot. So if I really have to put it in that way, Noise, which is a sponsor here as well, I like that team like to the last bit of it, right? Because they done the marketing pretty well. They built the product pretty well because I was very high on tipping as a meta on Forecaster, and they did wonderful job of building a product and making it reach to wider audience. So if you are a builder, I would highly recommend go and check Noise. The whole marketing play, they don't have marketeer. The marketeer is the founder. And there is no, again, and I like people who do not have method to their madness. And so in that context, Noise is like wonderful team that done a really good job. Even Oracle that they're building now, great thing with that. That is one team. Second, I would highly recommend two campaigns. One is Rajansi, she is doing Earn First Dollar. Again, kick-ass campaign. That is what I call a hardcore crypto campaign. And that is one of the best campaigns I have seen in recent times. So kudos to her, the way she has built it. See, this is a simple campaign, right? You earn your first dollar on chain. There is nothing more to it. There is no other fluffiness to it. So that is the other thing that I like a lot. And then third, Parrot, Pratyush from FBI. Dude, that is again a really wonderful product. Like I am very active on Forecaster. I want to post from Twitter to Forecaster, and that is how he has solved it. And here, even like I talk to tons of builders here, that is how you really solve a problem. It is like a crypto problem, but at the same time, not a crypto problem, but solved through crypto. So these are like three teams I like a lot. Then there are tons of other mini apps that have been built by multiple products. Like there is another mini app on Forecaster, but by Monad, where you can stake Monad, earn, claim every day. That is one. There is another guy who did like vibe coded the whole thing called Aura, again from FBI, which went viral, which was top on the App Store for some time. That is another good product. I think, yeah, these are Avantis as well. I mean, again, it's a big product, but again, great job doing crypto to the last bit. So, you know, all products that I talked here, they have a similar theme, that they are done crypto so well that they do not need to rely on other fluffiness. You're getting me? So, of course, I'll be very transparent about that, and I think that is what, these are the products. There are tons of others, but yeah, I will, for the format, I will name these.
Perfect. And really nice to, for once, see a bunch of Indian names in what you have mentioned, right?
See, whenever someone approaches me, I always tell them, I am India Maxi first, I'm Crypto Maxi second. I'm Indian Builder Maxi third. Time has come for us to build as many venture backable startups as possible out of India. And we have the talent, we have the day power, we have the capital access as well. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter what others are like looking at it, but I think time has come for us to really go there. Hence, purposefully, I named all Indian companies.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and what do you think, like, with when you mention these Indian companies, right? Is there some sort of gap because we have vast technical talent? Something that I don't think people quite grasp the scale of is how mind-bogglingly big India is, right? And which is also why I'm very excited that DEF CON is happening in Mumbai, right? Finally, people will have a real understanding. They'll come and see for themselves what India is all about. Yeah, like, what do you think is that, like, we have a lot of builders, and what do you think that they should, start doing there to, sort of start closing the gap?
I would say two things. Since there are tons of builders here as well, don't think of any product as just a product which you would build today and forget tomorrow. You need to like relentless after solving a problem that exists, and that gap can only be filled when you have access to better mentors like DevFolio and other places. You yourself use tons of products day in day out. I think that is what is missing in tons of builders. I mean, if you are in crypto day in day out, you should be checking out whatever products that exist in the market, use them as much as possible, find out what they're done right, and then try to replicate that in some shape or form. See, at the same time, it's paradoxical, but building a product is not just about solving a problem. It is whole other stuff as well. It is acquisition, it is storytelling, it is making sure that right amount of people are going to use it and retain your users to a larger extent. So that gap can only be filled when you use global products, not just products that exist here. And in some shape or form, we have done it well on the Web2 front. There are so many products that are coming out. Like for an example, Blinkit 10 minutes delivery can easily be replicated at other places. They have solved the darkroom problem so much. There are like Postman, great example of doing a highly technical product that is global and tons of global teams are using it. I think we have something similar in crypto as well. Like Polygon, Aishwari was here. Dude, I mean, that is such an underrated story as well. Like they are serving top of the food chain biggies when it comes to crypto. I think you need to learn from those biggies and from day one be ambitious. I think that this is something which is a bit more philosophical, but never be bounded by what your limitations are surrounding you. There are so many stories. We grew up in India where tons of people went on to do amazing things with their limited resources. So never think of it from that perspective. I think being ambitious is the topmost thing that you need to have. Everything else will fall in place if you have that.
Appreciate it. And yeah, with that, I think we are at time for today. And like I said, feel free to catch up with Kunal and Rajanshi, who had to leave for a really quick emergency. But they'll be around, and feel free to catch up with them very soon. Really, thanks a lot for making the time and spending these last 2 days with the builders, co-building alongside them. And yeah, hope to see your team's demo really soon.
Yeah, I'm pumped up. I'm so pumped for it. We already started marketing it. See, he's noticing. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. All right, finally, we are at the time of the day where we are going to check out all the projects that all of you have been building for the last couple of days, both online and IRL. Hope you folks are ready to with your demos.
Awesome. Thank you, Denver, and the other speakers. So, yeah, thank you, super hackers. Can we have the next slide? So, yeah, thanks a lot to all the super hackers, Gaurang, Akash, Aditi, Akshat, Abhishek, Arko, Pradyuman, Sabar, Tiru, Vaishak, Kunal, Krazing, Siddesh, Daksh, Pranay, Angela, Mahmood Aziz said, yeah, thanks to all the incredible partners we had for the ETHIndia event. Thank you, Base, Geode, Noise, and Starknet. Cool. So we had top 3% of the builders selected for ETHIndia Villa, and we had 52 hackers selected, and they came and so awesome projects. Thanks everyone for building, and yeah, appreciate it. So we had 18 projects submitted so far, and in total, and 52 hackers participating in it, and we will begin the project demos right now. So team, are we ready with the next team coming up? Cool. The next team that's coming up is called GPU. Can we have them on stage? Also a quick note, folks. So you will be given 3 minutes to demo your project and more 2 minutes for question and answer. So if anybody is curious about their project, feel free to ask them. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Madhav Gandhi, and today we have built Little Worlds. So this was an experiment that we did. So Little Worlds is an on-chain game where you create your own world, and you basically own them truly. Now let's go ahead and see what and why we have built this. So digital creation is rented and not owned, and anything you build lives inside someone else's app, and creators don't earn, and nothing ever feels permanent. And people basically spend their time in creating things that they don't actually control, right? So here's the solution. We have created a 3D room builder, where everything you create is yours, tradable, and permanent. I'll come to the demo quickly. Thank you, Daksh, for guiding us and helping us in the idea. Now let's quickly go through the idea here. I'll start creating a little world. So in the application here, if you see, we have so many themes, and this is my favorite one. You can add bed, sofa, whatever. And this is a world that you create on chain. I'll show you how and when. You could create any sort of thing. We have around 30 plus voxel characters right now. You could also add a human here. And in future, we have plans to basically play a game inside of it. And we have plans to add Easter eggs inside. So it helps in distribution as well. So I'll quickly go and publish this little world. I'll just call it test for now. Publish. And then, wait a second. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just confirm the transaction. Okay. Yeah. So now this little world is yours and completely on-chain, and you will own this. Now, let's say if you want to try to use and follow other little worlds which are there on the application, you could go and remix other people's world, and you could also trade them. So people who have created their own worlds, you could remix and you can pay them. So every creator who has created their own worlds, you could actually use their apps and make money, or you could pay them, right? This is one example where this particular app, right, this is one which I previously owned. So this is one where you could remix. I'll just show one more quickly, and then we're almost done. 1 second. So the idea behind this entire app is that all the objects that you create in the game would actually be tradable. So in future, you could actually create your own room inside, let's say your personal room, and that every object, every item inside could be tradable across the application. So you're kind of making it a RWA in future, not now. So we have 5 more days. We'll try to come up with more features into it.
Yeah, so since this is like pretty much like a feedback session, right? I'm just going to provide some feedback. So why would somebody do this over Roblox?
Yeah, so exactly. So in Roblox or any Minecraft, any application, you would not have the ownership thing, right?
How does that change? How does ownership change?
So here, whatever scenes you create, all of those could be exported. Firstly, they are NFTs, right? You own them. Secondly, all of these could be exported anywhere in any application where you have the GLF exporter or importer. You could basically view this application. This is basically which you could take across all the applications.
So if this was a good solution, why didn't Roblox build this?
I mean, they are not oriented towards this direction right now. That's what I feel.
No, if it was good business, then they would build it, right? Is there a reason why Roblox is not doing this already?
What we researched when we found out was that they are, so this is, I mean, Roblox is not oriented towards creator economy right now. And this helps creators. They are focused on, the consumer side and their own economy. But we are focusing on creators and empowering creators through the application. So the visions are different here.
But don't you think it's going to be hard for you to solve? Like, you will have to get to, like, scale of, like, Roblox or something before people even start caring about these things, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that we would focus on distribution specifically right now. So distribution as in a particular room or whatever, whenever we have events, right? In that particular event, let's say this. So the entire scenario would be different, not exactly like Roblox. We'll not compete with them. We'll be picking up another domain, which is in events, you could have this room, let's say you could give a task to anyone to find out Easter eggs and all. And that basically has tokens in them. So you are kindly you are rewarding them with, you can also airdrop your tokens and all through this app.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I would say, like, focus on, like, certain features which the on-chain part uniquely enables, right? focus more on that. And I think then you should focus more on a crypto uh, native audience, right? And what sort of such experiments have worked in crypto? What have been interesting experiments, right? Has it been dark forest or like a bunch of, like, I don't know if you've seen all of those sort of autonomous worlds things, right? And what's interesting there, and what on-chain bits make that even more interesting? Like, honestly, if you want to make it like some sort of game where it's you actually like it's very tied to crypto, where you go and are raiding each other's villages or something like that, and you're actually winning crypto with that, and it's a game of skill, then that's also exciting. It can be addictive and exciting. So think about how these things, like, so the major thing is that the most fun things go viral.
Exactly.
It's not because there is crypto in it. Like Peter Levels, like retarded shit, like goes viral. Like he puts like planes and stuff, like you just vibe codes it and that goes viral. So you have to think from that perspective. But yeah, there's a good start. I think you should continue iterating in these directions.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Team GPU. So we have our next team, Object. So can we have you over the stage?
So hello everyone. My name is Yash, and these are my teammates Sundaram and Jay. We are from team Object. We have created Vault ID, one identity, any device, 0 relogins. So the problem we are trying to solve is that when we have a device and we have stored all of our sessions on it, so it could be Netflix, Gmail, Google, and Microsoft Office, all of that is stored in session tokens or JWTs, refresh tokens, all of that. And if we want to move to another device, we have to use login again. OAuth has simplified this. We can use sign in with Ethereum as well, but still you have to click all those buttons. And especially if you're like a heavy workflow user who is using multiple platforms, it might be a bit of a pain to set everything up again and again. So, and device logins and all the things, we are trying to make it much easier to set up. So how it works is we use our wallet with our private key, and we take all of those sessions from those multiple domains and websites on the cookie side. So we take all those cookies, encrypt them with our wallet, and then store it on the blockchain. Nobody can see those, so it's all secure. And we can download an extension on any of the browsers that we want to sync our sessions with. And then that extension will pull that data, decrypt it with our wallet's private key, and then set those tokens appropriately so we can immediately sync sessions and just continue with our flow without needing to sign in again and again. So let's go to the demo. So typically, let's say you have like an OAuth here, something like that. So you have to sign in, set up. So I'm just going to create a sample account. Create sign in, and this will then redirect me. So you typically get a pop-up here that save this session. It will give you an option. So let's say I have yash@gmail.com with session token ID and stuff. And then for now we are testing the app on the domain localhost 3001 as a sample app. Then we'll save this to Vault. This will open your wallet and confirm the transaction. So this takes all of your session data and then encrypts it and then puts it on the blockchain. Let's just run that. Okay. Now let's say I switch my browser to something else. So this is another browser which does not have that state. As you can see, it still tells me to log in. So I've set up the same wallet here. The same wallet is connected. So what I'll do is I'll restore my sessions. So I click restore. And now what it'll do is it'll take the cookies that were saved, decrypt them, and then set it on this browser. So if the seed phrase, the same thing again. So yeah. So I back it up using seed phrase. To simplify this process, we can use SSO, so something like a not fully custodial wallet. So if Web2 users don't want the hassle of creating the same wallet on both sides. We can use SSO to simplify that even further. So again, as you can see, the session cookies got set properly, and I loaded my session immediately. Now, this might not look like that attractive right now, but imagine this for like 10, 20 platforms. Immediately you get Gmail, Netflix, Microsoft Office, everything just gets set automatically. Yeah, that's our platform. Yeah. So the thing with sign in with OAuth and as a single sign-ons right now, you still have to open all of those tabs, click on sign in manually 10 times. There might even be, Google might prompt you to give 2FA, click on your... Yeah, it lets you do that, but still you have to go to that platform and go through the sign-up flow. We're removing that friction for all of those platforms. So for one, it might not look like much because you're saving like 2 clicks, but when you do this on scale for like 10, 20 platforms, then it makes sense. Yeah, so we have an extension. Yeah, we are storing it on-chain encrypted. So whenever we log in, you'll typically get a pop-up, but because we did not have enough time, there's no pop-up right now. What we are doing is we are redirecting and the data is being sent to a local device, so it will get sent to the extension. And the extension will encrypt it using your private key of the wallet. And then that encrypted blob will get stored on the blockchain, so nobody can access it without your private key. Yeah. Yeah, cookies.
Check. Yeah. Yeah, I was asking, since you're playing around with cookies, right? I feel there's a potential risk when you're playing with cookies over there if it's not handled well.
Yeah.
And I think it's not a huge bargain, you know, while I trust someone playing with my cookies and me just doing it all over. I feel like potential, in my opinion, I would say. But yeah, I just wanted to understand more. And what exactly are you encrypting on chain?
The cookie session tokens, the values, the JWTs, whatever is required for that particular domain, all of that gets encrypted and then stored on chain. And on the extension side, when we want to restore from it, we'll decrypt it using the private key and then set those tokens in a secure context of the extension. So an extension in Chrome or most browser implementations is sandboxed. So nothing can access it or it can't access anything without explicit permissions. There's IPC and stuff involved. So it is pretty secure. We'll obviously have to go through a security audit if we want to make sure everything works properly and there's no flaws there. But yeah, it should work in theory.
Right, since you said you store everything on chain, that's encrypting the cookies itself, right?
Yeah.
Now I see another huge potential here where, you know, if someone like from your team has access to that particular decrypted key, now they can just decrypt all of those cookies, right? I see there's a huge potential risk over here. Just an opinion, but yeah.
I mean, it can work both in favor and against the goal of these. So if you share your wallet keys with, or if you share your wallets with multiple people, you can have a shared workflow session state. So everyone has the same sessions and everyone logs in immediately. It could be a benefit also, but if you're sharing it to people you don't want to share your sessions with, then it's a security flaw. So we'll have to look at it from both ways and figure out what to do.
Like, since I've mentioned all the problems, I'm just gonna also, you know, talk about the fix as well. I think probably you could leverage native account abstraction here in such a way you have a signer which signs that this particular session is allowed in such a way that then there's no risks of cookies and all those sort of stuff. You just have a single point of signer who allows you to, you know, once the signer signs a particular transaction, now you're free to proceed with any transactions. So I think it's a pretty cool idea, but I think just in terms of the implementation can be through like native account abstraction. I think this could be pretty cool.
That is a really good idea, but what we wanted to do was target a wide scope.
Makes sense.
Current Web 2 apps use session tokens and JWTs. So for that, we need to manipulate cookies, at least right now. So we have targeted that for this demo.
Thanks.
Thank you. Siddesh is our super hacker from Privy Wallet. He guided us to the idea, so we had a lot of reiterations, decided on multiple approaches to this, and he led us to this. Thank you very much.
All right, that was awesome, team object. Also, can we have the next team Dragon Warriors onto the stage?
Hello guys, I am Nikhilesh from Dragon Warriors. So we have built Zark Claim, which is a privacy preserving. Okay, so we have built Zark Claim, which is a privacy preserving bridge for Zcash and Starknet. So there is a problem, and the problem is in a normal cross-chain bridge, our wallet address on both chains get exposed, and transaction amounts are exposed, and the timing information of the transaction can be linked to our identity. Okay, so this defeats the purpose of using privacy coins like Zcash. So we have built the solution. So we are using zero knowledge proof for verifying transaction without revealing information. And we are doing shielded transfer through which the ZEC stays private as well as the WZEC, wrapped ZEC stays private. And we are using decentralized vaults, which are the relayers who ensure this transaction between the Zcash and Starknet. And these are like collateralized operators. So any misbehavior will cause slashing on those vaults. And this is completely trustless as there are no centralized operators who have any control over the protocol. So this is entirely based on Zclaim research paper, which is a privacy preserving cross-chain cryptocurrency transfer. So now let's check out the demo. Arnav will walk through it.
Okay, so here's the demo. So here are all the integration tests that I have written. And one thing is, we haven't deployed the contracts on Starknet. So it's just to test whatever the Rust code we have written. So yeah. The circum circuits, and yeah, we have built a CLI version for this. So all the testing is done automatically.
Okay, so continue further. So this is how it works. Okay, so first we log ZEC on Zcash and send the log ZEC to collateral vault, and then whenever we want wrapped ZEC, we can use the bridge contract to mint the wrapped ZEC to our Starknet privately. Okay, so we can mint whenever we want. Through this, we can prevent the timed information through which can be linked to accounts. Okay, so we also solve this problem. Like, if it's a big amount, then it can be split into multiple vaults. So multiple vaults will be operating in a decentralized way. So total amount, if it's a big transaction, then also it's not a problem. Okay, so thank you. Yes. Actually, see, currently centralized solutions exist, okay? And when we implement a paper, the paper does not give a practical implementation, okay? It just gives a theoretical implementation. So we have to like make some changes to make it fit in this situation. Like it's already implemented on a different chain, okay, but it can be mapped directly one-on-one here. Okay, like Xclaim already exists. This is a Zclaim, which is newly released for Zcash. So we have
for Bitcoin to Bitcoin bridges, basically. So yes, like Xclaim protocol with Zcash is Zclaim. Yeah, and also the vault splitting is a bit novel here.
Yeah, it's a unique one. Last one. Yep. So this is a unique implementation.
Like previously there was only one vault. So technically the vault knows how much money is being transacted, but now it doesn't know. Like we can prove that some of these vaults is this much money, but individual. See, suppose if there is one vault, the vault knows how much money is being bridged, right? So if there are multiple vaults, one vault cannot deduce that.
It's decentralized in that way. Like vault doesn't have the control. Yeah, it will be completed by Friday. Okay, thank you.
Cool. Thank you, team. Can we have the next team um, age tributers to the stage?
Hey everyone, I'm Shankar from Distributors Subnow team. So here I am with a project called Heka 402. Heka basically means magical. So it's a derivation of X402. So X402, everyone knows about it, right? I don't need to explain. So it's a like a settlement layer for token getting, any kind of content, services, anything. But it's a public service, right? It's a public infra. How about we add a privacy layer to it? And there is already a privacy layer developed for it, and it's called PX402. And that PX402 is heavily dependent on pre-compiles on the base. Okay, it's just one of the L2s, right? And other ecosystems can't really take advantage of it. So we thought about creating, taking an inspiration from PX402 and creating a protocol which is independent of the pre-compiles. So it will be having a universal infra, which could be utilized by any of the EVM chains, any of the L2s, even the Ethereum mainnet, and it could be utilized for three functional things. And that's basically split, hide, and pay. Hide basically means you can, using ZK proof, you can hide the transaction. Payment, that's basically the whole functionality of X402. And split is the functionality that we came up with. So instead of just adding multi-chain support, how about we could provide the payment option for the user where they could just split the amount which they need to pay through different multiple EVMs. And that's what we are trying to do through Heka 402. So basically, this is Heka 402, privacy layer. We are looking to develop an extension. For now, it's something which we have scope for the next 3 days. For now, we have the implementation, which is more on the facilitator side. So currently, it's using ERC4773, X402, and three chains in this prototype. Actually, 5 of them, 3 are working. So we have included Sepolia, Base Sepolia, Arbitrum Sepolia, Optimism Sepolia, and Polygon testnet. So you can see these are the core features. We'll quickly go through the demo. So these are the contracts. So initially you deploy the verifier contract. Once you deploy the verifier contract, this is, by the way, on the Sepolia testnet, you deploy the Merkle tree contract over here, Merkle proof contract. And then you actually have this privacy payment account contract where you use the verifier to deploy that, and then you can basically start interacting with the protocol right away. So this is one-time deployment for all the EVM chains. So I will quickly show the final snippets. This is the circumcircuit setup. which is done. Before that, you can see the compilation over here for the circumcircuit. And here is the demo of this actual functionality. Over here, I can just choose any of the chains that I want, and any number of chains that I select. Basically, whatever amount that I add, that will be split across these chains. And I add the recipient address and execute this. Now, currently we don't have the facilitator set up across all these chains. Currently we have it across base and base Sapulya. So we can quickly check over there. Recipient address. Right now.
Yeah, that's fine. So the really novel parts here are to do with the splitting into the multiple things. So like, what currently like this already exists out there, and how would you like try and grab some market share from them?
Currently, no product exists as such. The only product that exists which provides privacy layer is PX402, which is on base. And it can't expand to other ecosystem because the pre-compiles which are there on base are not exist.
There's whale cache also, right? Whale cache on base?
No, this is like, they don't allow this cross-chain interaction. So this is a facilitator-based implementation. We will add the extension-based implementation on top of it, where whenever there is like a protocol which is compliant with X402, it will automatically trigger this. Like we have this injection method where the response of the our facilitator through the.
So basically, cross-chain. You're saying that nobody is doing the cross-chain bit right now.
Yes.
And you're one of the first to do it.
Yeah, correct. Because even if there are multiple facilitators which support multiple networks, developers can choose to have only one network at a time. You can't choose to have multiple networks at a time. And even if you add those kind of like parallel executions, you will end up spending more on the gas. While this implementation saves almost 40 to 70% of gas, if I'm not wrong.
What are you planning to build ahead, like for the next few days?
So we'll build an extension which will act as an additional layer on top of this facilitator. This is a working product, but that will add an layer which will basically eliminate the need of an additional step from the developer.
And so then what's your plan to launch this?
What's that?
What's your plan to launch this? You plan to launch this as a product, or?
Yeah, as a product.
Okay. Like what's your plan for it?
So once we are done with all the integrations across all 5 chains, we'll be releasing the extension once it's released. We don't necessarily need to convince the developers of X402 based protocols to use our facilitator. Users can just install the extension and just implement it right away. So your traditional X402 intent actually will have this response rate, which will be utilized by the extension, and that extension will reroute it to basically do this kind of distribution, and it will give the same output.
Makes sense. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Edge Tributor. And here is a small announcement to all hackers. So once you are done with demo, please be gathered at the photo wall to take team pictures. Cool. So we have our next team, Crypto Junkies. Can we have over them here?
ये है तो बंदा वैसे टेक्निकली साउंड होगा नहीं वो
वो पोल्काडॉट इकोसिस्टम में है काफ़ी टीम कभी एज अ हैकर आ जाता है कभी एज अ स्पॉन्सर आ जाता है जिससे आपका मार्केट चल रही हो नहीं ये क्या करते हैं पोल्काडॉट पे ही काम करते हैं
Hello everyone, this is Ayush, Om and Aditya, and we are Team Crypto Junkies. Today I will be telling you about our project X402 ISP AI. So basically it is an investment advisor marketplace on X402. So the problem we are solving is the AI services require subscription. AI agents can't transact autonomously, and investment advice lacks personalization. So that is the main problem that we think we face in our daily life. So the solution is pay-per-use AI consulting, autonomous AI commerce, and personalized DeFi strategies. So with this, we propose our architecture. So I will hand over to Om to further show you guys the demo of the project.
Okay, so the flow would be, user would be interacting with our protocol AI agent that will control the smart contract parts, and our protocol AI agent will be interacting with the other expert AI agents that are experts in financial fields that are out in the other worlds. So let's look at the demo. So I'll be starting the expert AI agent. On other tab, I'll be starting our own protocol AI agent. So here, user can interact with it. So it asks, what would you like to save for? So it's kind of SIP system where we have a long-term final goal and in which we monthly deposits. So let's say I want to buy a house. Then let's say our amount would be 0.12 and for 12 months. So our AI agent is calculating the normal computation and it says we have to deposit 0.01 ETH every month. So I'll just say yes. So this is calling the expert AI agent for his strategy. So here we can see it ran. Yeah, so it says to deposit 50% on Aave, then 50 on Compound and Uniswap 0 because we, yeah, so I'll just, yes, then yes. So this is happening on, so the real transactions are happening, I'll show you. Yeah, so this is our, yeah, so you can see 11 seconds ago, our SIP contract called this function, and this is our seller, that is the expert AI agent that got called, and the amount was paid through to the expert AI agent for his service. And then this is the Aave contract, so the funds were distributed to the multiple protocols as per the strategy given by the expert AI agent. So yeah, currently we have this setup as per this flow, and our future flow contains
So now we'll go through the future scope of our application. So we are going to add chain link automation for automated payments and also implement AI agents for rebalancing end to end. And yeah, the man needs no introduction. Huge thanks to Thiru because he also worked with us. And without him, I think this idea would be different. So thank you very much. So
here are our Twitter handles.
Do connect with us and
what were the use cases that you were thinking around this? Like when you started thinking about the problem, was it there like, oh, like this is something I cannot do today? Investment SIP is okay, but like, is there any consumer use case you are thinking about? Okay, oh, like this can be done better. Yeah, talk to me about that. Like how you're thinking about what really led to this.
I mean, for now, we just have a one use case that we are using the expert AI agent. In the future, we can also add another field's expertise. So yeah.
This AI agent you have yourself like built, this
Yeah.
expert AI agent. So like is it like a pre-compiled strategy or is it something like you are evaluating all the?
Currently, it's just have a system prompt that you are an expert AI agent, but in the future, we'll be actually adding the market data, the real-time statistics and all that. Also, we can use the Bazaar by the Coinbase. It has other expert agents, so we can use those.
Could you use something like AI XPT or something for this?
Sorry, I don't have expert knowledge. on that.
Could you?
There are a lot of rebalancing AI agents in the market.
Makes sense. Yeah, like I think you should focus on like just one, like, because you mentioned 3 use cases, right, from the start.
No, we only have one use case. Basically, user has some goal, like for 1 year, after 1 year he wants to buy a car, and so our basic AI agent will tell him, like normal computation, he will tell him like to put some small amounts every month. Then he will ask to the expert AI agent out there in the world, like, I have the user fund, like let's say $500, where can I put that? And the expert AI agent will say like to put this percent in the, as per the user's risk factor. So the expert AI agent will tell our agent, and our agent will put into multiple strategies. And currently, we don't have the rebalancing thing. So future scope will be chain-link automation. So after every 2 to 3 days, we will be again doing this X402 request to a strategy agent that currently our portfolio looks like this, and give some like suggestions on that.
Did you try giving, what were your experiments so far? Like, how much money did you put into it and how much did it actually make?
There were no real integrations. It's just a like idea.
Oh, okay. Do you plan to do it? Like, so like before Friday, do you plan to give it some real money and then?
Yeah, so we would be integrating the real Aave compound and Uniswap or maybe other Yearn, and we would be testing with the testnet funds for, let's say, 2 to 3 days.
So if I give you $100 today.
Okay. I mean, we will not be doing that. We will be first doing the testnet funds. Like, then we would be like checking if it's generally generating yield.
But like, so like either you're building a rebalancing vault, or like the first thing you started was like we want people to like come back and invest. Like, is it like you would prompt user to put money back every month? Do you think you will be like, where will you get them to submit money over?
User will initially just approve it, and there is chain-link automation that will do the recovery.
You just did the calculation 0.12 ETH, 12 months, so you asked me for 0.1 ETH or like 0.01 ETH, right? What happens next month? Are you coming back and like, do I have to come to your platform and?
No. User will only do the initial discussion that 0.01 ETH every month. Chain-link automation will do the recurring.
That is something you have to build right now.
Yeah,
Chain-link automation.
Yeah. So that will put the funds every month over there, and then the interaction between our protocol agent and the expert agent. So they will do the interaction and put the money in various.
Yeah, I would like to, like for rebalancing, you can use a lot of things that exist in the market. So you can try using their SDKs and see how you work with them.
Yeah.
But I would love to see how this one-time transaction happens, where I don't have to come back and like.
No. User will not come until 1 year.
Like build that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like I'd want to actually see it. Like if I can give you some money, and then hopefully by Friday you can give me more money.
Let's see.
Cool. Excited to see you building it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Awesome, crypto junkies. Thank you. So we have the next team called Bihar Ke Lale. Quite interesting name.
start? Yeah. Hey everyone, our team name is Bihar Ke Lale, and our project is Agentic AI Jailbreak platform. Our project is Agentic AI Jailbreak Arena, and so basically, there are LLMs being used in each and every industry in today's day, and these LLMs needs to be tested because all these agents are connected to some databases or some knowledge base where all the data resides. So these can be easily exploited, and some PII or some sensitive data can be leaked. And for that, there is a completely different field called offensive security research, which was first only limited to old traditional softwares, but now it is coming to AI too. And for each LLM to be secure, these LLM providers like Anthropic and OpenAI, they launch their programs to test their LLMs too, so that they can test whether anyone is able to exploit them or not. Sorry? Sabr.
Sabar. Okay. Is he around?
We haven't seen him.
Okay, okay. Okay, you're building persona-based agents that will be harder to exploit, right?
It's a game where you need to exploit the agents.
Okay.
So for example, one type of game which we have is password retrieval. So you will need to retrieve a particular string via prompting that agent. And if
Oh, so okay. So I get it. Like, there's more for like for prompt. Like there are already games that exist where the goal is to prompt and extract information from that. But that's more for pen testing the LLMs, right?
Yeah, correct.
So what you're doing now is what exactly? Yeah. So what's the crypto part in this?
Yeah, so we are introducing ZK here.
Okay.
So I, as a user, want to know if this is an actual platform. It's a game, right? I want to participate in it, and I want to know that this is an actual game. So we generate proof that the answer actually exists on this particular password actually exists. And
Okay.
it's not a fake.
Okay.
We are not faking anything. And you can also verify your answers. If they are incorrect, why they are incorrect. If they are actually correct, why they are correct, without knowing the answer. So we are introducing a ZK layer here that the model, ZK ML basically, that nothing else. We are introducing ZK ML here.
Oh, can you give me a demo?
Yeah, I'll go to the demo. I'll go to the demo video once again. Oh. So users can create contest and they can join a contest. They can basically start with paying a small fee, and that fee basically goes to escrow, and the one who wins the contest gets the full money of the escrow. So this is a password retrieval game where you need to retrieve the password from the agent, and you need to give it prompts in such a way that you get the password, and each agent has a persona. This agent is a librarian, and you need to interact with this agent in such a way that it resembles, it is like you're talking to a librarian, and you need to just retrieve the password. So we also have hints, like you can use hints, and you can exploit what are the weaknesses of the agent. So similarly, since this is a session game, people can join. They can join this contest, and we have leaderboard rankings. Similarly, so if I want to verify this, so what I do is I enter my guess here. It shows me incorrect, but I want to see that if it's actually if nothing is manipulated through the backend or through the databases. So that's why you have a ZK verification there. This is also a proof which we hold on-chain proof and commitment hash of the answer which actually exists, and we are not faking anything. So yeah, that's what it is.
Makes sense. And who would ideally, like, so this is for anybody and everybody to just play, right?
Yes.
So which is the most popular one that currently exists? Can you show that? The jailbreak one?
Okay, so this one was one of the password retrieval games which we asked our friend to play. And basically, with each...
So this is the current one which is popular. No, I'm asking in the real world. Like,
in the real world?
Yeah, which one currently exists?
So there are
who is your competition?
There are platforms which test LLMs directly, but there are no platforms which test agents directly. What is the difference between LLMs and agents? Agent is a wrapper over the LLM. Agent can have connection to a DB, it can have connection to a vector database, etc., etc. But LLMs, they only answer on the basis of their training data. So this is a agentic jailbreaking platform.
There's nothing for agents currently. There's nothing that's popular. Okay, what's popular for LLMs?
For providers like Anthropic, they have their own platform called HackerX, and they release bounties for those. And then there are some red teaming AI companies like Lakera.
Yeah, Lakera, yeah. I've used the
Gandalf.
Yeah.
So they also are directly prompting to the LLM. They have their secret in the system prompt instead of a data source, and they're directly prompting the LLM. So they have just the LLM APIs behind the scenes, and we just have to exploit that LLM. So they did it because they wanted to create a data set out of it so that they can create their red teaming models. And our data set, we are also storing all the prompts which we get. So that is also a monetization part which we have in the project.
So how do you plan to launch this, and like what's your plan with launching this and like, you know, encouraging people to use it?
Okay, so basically we
like, are you going to say that if you hack, if you are able to get this said thing from the agent, you're going to get some amount of money?
Yeah, so there will be contests on our platform. We will just show that. And anyone can join that contest. There is a joining fees. All the joining fees goes to the pool. And whoever solves all the games, all the questions first, they get the whole pool except our operational costs.
Makes sense. And do you think any businesses will sponsor this, will want to sponsor this? Does it add value to them?
Yeah. So because of time duration, we were not able to implement this. But let's say Devfolio as a vendor has a chatbot, and they want to test its security, whether it can be exploited or not. You can come up with your system prompt, you can add it on our platform, you can add your data sources on a platform, obviously the replica and synthetic data of that data source. And then our platform will create a contest for that, and people can join in, they can earn money.
Cool. I would like you to think a little more about this part and how you also make it fun. Yeah, like this is also cool. The interface can be anything. Do you think this can also be a Farcaster mini app? The interface,
yeah, probably they could be a mini app also. They could be it's a game basically.
Yeah, exactly. So the interface, like, you can still make, like, because one thing that it solves is like little bit of distribution, right? Through the. So think about these things, yeah. But excited to see this ahead.
Okay, so we are still working on the scalability. But before 6th, we are going to host a contest on our platform in a deployed website. And we will share the link on the Telegram group. All of you can participate. And whatever we win from this competition, we will give 15% of that minus our operational cost to the winner of this competition. Thank you, everyone.
Cool, Bihar ke lale. So we have our next team, Blue 3. Can we have on Can we have them on the stage?
Hello guys, this is Jovian. This is Abhishek and my team. Um, my super mentor is Kunal Gandhi and the name of this project is Trust Me Bro. So the inspiration for this came from the glass bridge challenge in Squid Games. So it's a survival game. Every wrong step, you could lose everything and you could die. And you survive, you can multiply your bets. So this is how it works. First, the user places a bet. Then the user is presented with tiles in each round. These tiles can be from 2 to 5. The user has to avoid that tile or he lose everything. If he survives, he will multiply his bet. So the multiplication formula works like this. So the multiplier is inversely proportional to the survival probability. So, for example, if there are 2 tiles and there is one dead tile.
Sounds good. Let's get into the demo.
Yes.
Or like whatever you have so far.
Yeah. So, currently the game is still in beta phase, and our waitlist is live. So we are giving a soulbound NFT. This soulbound NFT gives you access to the game, and also we are giving initial liquidity to play the game and try it as well. And it's based on Farcaster, so it's like easily dopamine hit and shareable. So you can scan this QR code and like try out the game.
So to get into the waitlist, like get the soulbound token, there is any cost or?
No, it's like the gas fees only. Yeah. And a small fee.
So once we get the NFT, then we are into the waitlist.
Yeah, you are into the waitlist, and we'll be launching it on 4th December, and then you can start playing the game.
We have to trust you that you'll launch it on 4th.
Yeah, that's why our name is Trust Me Bro.
Got it.
Actually, the smart contract backend is ready. Only the front end part was left, and since this is like a Farcaster mini app game, so we need to have like a proper Squid Game type of UI. So it's taking a bit time, but we'll definitely launch.
So how long will this game last? Each game?
So they are basically, initially we are doing like 20 rounds, and we have the multiplier formula as well. So basically the pot that will be created, only the 5% will be the winning amount, so that we don't exceed the pot. So that's our main.
But how many people will play together, like in one group?
Actually, it's a single player game.
It's a single player game, okay.
And the rounds could be like, currently we have a fixed number 20 rounds. And if you can survive up to that, you'll have like an insane multiplier. So each round your multiplier keeps multiplying. It's a cumulative multiplier.
And what are the rounds? Inside the rounds, what happened itself?
So inside the rounds, you'll be presented with tiles.
With?
Tiles. Like you have to step on a tile. And in the game also, like one tile is that tile. If you step on the wrong tile, the tile will break and you'll fall and you'll die. Your character will die, and you lose all your stake. But if you survive, your principal amount would be multiplied by the multiplier, and you can keep increasing every round.
And how do I like make sure that this is not like after like let's say I am skillful at this. Is it a game of skill or just luck?
It's a game of luck.
It's a game of luck.
Yes.
Okay.
And
let me say I'm a super lucky person.
Yes.
How do I know that you're not messing with me and you're making everybody get out at the 15th round?
Yes, that's a good question. So this game is provably verifiable.
Okay.
So when you create a game, in the smart contract, we'll put the commitment hash. of the C that was used to generate all the probabilities with style. And at the end of the game, we'll reveal the C that was used, and the user can verify with that what was the.
So I don't actually need to trust you, bro.
You need to trust me. That's why it's.
But you're giving the proof as well, right? It's verifiable.
Yes. That's why.
Oh, initially.
So once the game is launched, you can like go trust it.
Makes sense. All right. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
So, hey, hi. And this is X402 router. This is our project. We did it. And the second slide. The challenges in the on-chain economy here is like there are fragmented chains plus tokens. That brings about that broken user flow for like a DEX thing or a thing. And user must bridge plus swap manually for everything, right? Like for every event, he should elaborately do that. And developers handle messy multi-chain systems, right? And the result is the result outcome is like a bad UX, and it really messes right up to the output. And there is no till now there is no unified X402 router exists, but we stepped in that and we made it like we on that, and this is the workflow.
So like we are building a seamless multi-chain routing for X402 integrations. So it's like basically user going to request any kind of resources from any kind of service they are going to ask. So these things like is going to like throw this challenge like for 402, which is going to like pay some amount of money to it. So like let's say the agent something which are going to ask something from the server for some resource, and he's getting something from a particular chain and a particular token which you don't have as of now. So like you can pay it from some other token by integrating this X402 router into it. So this is the architecture which we have. So we have a multi-chain facilitator over here in the backend which we provide it. So through which like when a client asks for like any kind of private information which needs some amount of to be paid, 402 request is given to the client, and he is going to make a signed payload to it. And now the multi-chain facilitator which we created will verify the signature and then plans the router, like whether they need like bridge it or swap the token which is given to them, and then it executes on chain, and it returns the hash with the settlement and gives back to the client saying it is like status 200 okay, and gives the protected route. So we made a basic integration showing like how it works. So like this is a platform which we created, basic platform in which like we provide a 4 chains as of now, like Base, Sequoia, Arbitrum, and then Optimism. So we made a simple AI agent which like for creating an image. As you can see, like in this particular case, we can keep it as saying like the agent which creates the image gets like we need to pay it in the Arbitrum Sequoia token, but now like the user like as I'm a user over here, like I'm having only a base Sequoia, so I'm going to pay it from base network 1 USDC for creating a image. And as you can see, like I'm generating an image, and then I'm signing a transaction over here, and you can see like the payloads are given over here to the X402 protocols, and it goes to the payment router which we have deployed in 4 of the chains which we have mentioned. And once the payment is done, you can see in the Explorer saying like the payment is done to the particular router which we have, and in the Arbitrum chain you can see the router is like paid this 1 USDC to the agent which is needed, and the image is created, and
yeah. So he's a super hacker, and he helped us to like make a consensus of what to build in. We have many ideas to build in that X402. So he made like you go this and build this, and you're gonna rock it. So he helped us and kicked
Amazing.
more and more back.
What are your plans ahead for the rest of the week to build this?
yeah, like we are planning on integrating even more networks, and also like having non-UEM chains integrated, and providing API docs, so it will be easier for users like developers to integrate into any applications they are building. And one more thing which we planned out is work on a evaluation layer which we provide within this platform. So it's like it's just a basic thing which gives you like a trust of saying on-chain management of every facilities like which you have, like whichever X1 providers are there for whichever chain, we give them some kind of reputation scores to them, which is stored online. So it's like any kind of user who comes, they can like check out which is more trusted for them to do X1 transaction with, saying with the credibility score which is given.
Makes sense. Okay, so you really need to work on packaging this whole thing way better, and I think you
Sure.
should focus on just that. You have something interesting, but the
Sure,
way
sure.
you package that should be, and the narrative should be much more simple. And I think you should continue working with Pranay on that.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Cool.
Cool. Thank you, Team Gryffindors. We have Team Vikings next coming up. Can we have them on the stage, please?
Hey everyone, we are Team Vikings and we built Dust Trade. So one of the biggest problems with liquidity right now is liquidity is extremely fragmented, not just on chains, but in your wallet as well. You may be managing 47 different tokens, all with very different amount of liquidity present in them. And you might get too lazy trying to consolidate them. When you want to invest, when you want to trade, when you want to do something with that liquidity, you probably always get stuck somewhere around the swapping and bridging part. So this is what Dustry does. It consolidates the entire wallet for you.
Yeah, so I'll just give a walkthrough of how it works. So first you connect your wallet, and then we scan for dust, which is basically, you can define it as, let's say, tokens which are under $23 or under $2 worth of value. And then we give you the list of tokens that are dust, and then you can either select all or select few which you want to, and we will create a single transaction for you to swap them. So right now I've just selected Zora and Paw, and I see like the value is very less. And the multi transaction happens through the EIP 7702. So now I can just click on swap, and it automatically creates a transaction for me, which has the bulk approvals as well as the swap. So I can just click on continue. Yeah, and now all the transactions have been automatically swapped on Uniswap. So yeah.
So right now we're handling swaps through Uniswap, and we have Zapper for portfolio management. But we do plan on adding in 1inch for smart route management and giving you better rates for your tokens, as well as adding a burn functionality that in the same transaction takes away all the tokens that do not matter or spam tokens in your wallet, so your wallet can be clean as it could be.
The benefits of cleaning these dust coins is there's a chance that dust coins get hacked and our wallets get vulnerable. And
how will the wallets get vulnerable?
If the
So it's not exactly vulnerability, but it's bad UX for user. So sometimes user might see a fluctuation in the value shown for the wallet, especially if there is manipulation in liquidity for the spam tokens that they receive. So that often confuses people and can lead to them trying to swap those tokens manually and try it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And basically all the spam tokens, like, which has a very similar name and...
Makes sense. So, what are you continuing to build in the next few days? What functionality are you trying to add?
So first thing we want to do is reward people and gamify the process of trying to keep their wallet clean. We want to give them a cleanliness score, and we want to give them reward points for how often they clean their wallets. So that is something people can aspire to do, and how consolidated their liquidity is.
Yeah, I think this is very similar to like how people download like cleaning tools for their Mac or something, right? It's Clean My Mac or like So it's like good hygiene. Like it's like you can have a good campaign around keep good wallet hygiene.
Correct,
right?
correct. And there are a lot of protocols that have multiple tokens that they would want consolidated for users as well. So we can partner with those protocols where they can say, ask users to collect dust in their tokens or incentivize users to collect dust in their tokens instead, or transform their dust into their particular tokens. So there can be incentives that we can run for users as well, based on points, streaks, other things.
Makes sense.
Those lines.
Okay, okay, so I know about this because I was discussing this with Gaurang, and Gaurang is your super hacker, right? And Om yesterday. Are you helping recover those hard to recover funds or something, that feature that I discussed?
wallet are compromised
Okay, so we can. So there are two parts to it. First is swapping tokens manually, which is where we are helping with users right now. So tokens that have liquidity, and we can find liquidity on any of the known dexes, we allow users to swap. So even if the interface does not exist for those, we do that. But for, let's say, just membership tokens or other tokens that may have some other benefit attached to that, we don't handle it just yet.
No, I'm talking about, okay, let me give you an example, right? So the Ether, I have some money in EtherFi.
Right.
And I put it in some vault, and I can't find the UI now to withdraw it. Can you help me withdraw it?
Yeah, that is one of the plans. If the smart contract allows that transaction, which will simulate beforehand.
I'm pretty sure the smart contract does allow for it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We'll do that.
yeah.
We'll do that.
That should be the next feature that you build.
Okay.
So then when the person connects to your dashboard, you can say that, hey, recovery potential, you know?
I mean, yeah, so if there's a potential swap for it, and we will be adding
Not
more.
just potential swap, like if there is a way to take out that token and it has stayed dormant, we can notify you, hey, this has been dormant for 6 months.
Yeah. And sometimes they stop. What you can also look out for is that on the official UI, they stop supporting those pools.
Yes.
So if you watch out for that, and then
there's existing pools or
and then you're like this is like dormant pool. Like your money is just rotting here. Like it's not doing much. So like and we can help you recover it. And I'll just click one, and I just get all my money back. Like, I actually put some money, I remember, in QuickSwap or something, and like 4 years later, I was like, there's so the Zapper was not showing me anything. And when I went to DBank, I saw that there's some money there. And then when I went to QuickSwap, I couldn't see anything. Then I specifically went into this one, and I actually I spent good like half an hour, 45 minutes, a lot of it frustrating, and I recovered $900.
Okay.
Right? But if I had a product like yours, ideally, I would just want, Ideally, DBank should like just let me do that.
For it, yeah. It's like taking from
So
pools.
I think, I think this can be something that we can obviously do in the next phase. We can have a whitelist or a list of all the protocols that have gone down recently, or that have gone inactive, pools that have gone inactive, and allow you to withdraw.
People will be happy for this product, like with this product. Cool, cool stuff. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Team Vikings. We have our next team called HyperDevs. Can we have them on the stage, please?
Hi guys. Oh, I'm pretty loud, so sorry for that. So everybody seems very exhausted, tired, and completely drained out. Trust me, I know that. I want to say, but I don't because that is what we are. So hi, we are HyperDevs, and today we are going to be something fun. Recently, let's imagine, what if I could put all of these thoughts out in an open platform? What if, I can tell my company that you are bullshit, bro, but still they know that I'm from the company, okay? What if they know that, Google is like, the one that only focuses on data structure, but I'm so fed up of DSA. What if I could tell them, but they still know that, I'm from the Google? So what if all this could be possible in a place where it's still secure, but nobody knows who you are, but it's still verifiable to everyone out there? So yeah, it's one of the biggest dilemma out in the world that your identity is so important, right? Your reputation, your identity, and everywhere you go is very, very, very important. And that's where your voice is free, but your identity is not safe anywhere. You go anywhere, people judge you. And right now, we do have many anonymous platforms in the industry, but the most biggest problems are they're not verified users. And, there are also like a lot of gated communities are being, not open-minded. And also, CT is spilling a lot of shit and everybody knows whoing that shit. But what if I can do that shit without knowing who I am from that company, okay? And then we are the ones who are gonna bring you there. Why us? So coming back to thinking why us is we are Whisper completely anonymous. Nobody is going to know what you want to whisper about, what you want to talk about, what you want to get into it. We are a proven community membership, and also we send honest feedbacks with everyone. Report issues without any one identity fear, participate without reputation pressure. This is all includes in one place, and we have a lot of features, but most of our features are pretty simplified. So we are going to give you a platform where you can express yourself. You're verified, but you still can express no matter what you want to be. And a technical architecture is a little bit boring. I am not, let's go with the fun stuff. Yeah, next.
Who's your super hacker?
Arco. Yeah. So let's imagine two people from Starknet have fallen in love and they have broke up. And everybody in Telegram and started posting memes about this couple, memes, but everybody wants to get back on the concept of dealing with their work. Nobody is able to say it because those two people are big people, or they're the big whales. So let's say we put out a platform for them, a whisper community for them, where some of them can come out and say, hey, can we please stop this drama and get back on the track? It doesn't show who they are, but they still know that it's genuine because they are from the Starknet. So it's like, expressing freely.
How are you proving that they are from Stocknet?
Okay, we have the verification one that we do it with mails, Google Mail, any of the company mails that they can go on with. We are still figuring out that one with Akash also. He told us few other things where he said we could also include those one as well. So he said like for the wallet ones, for the whales.
You can also use ZKTLS.
Yes, that's right. So ZK. So we'll get back to that in the ZK one as well. Yeah. So basically, we are using Starknet with ZK proofing for all of these things. So this is our main goal, to come out honest communication, community empowerment, strong protocol security, of course, and safe governance with nobody judging you who you are or where you're from, better decision making, and also anonymous knowledge sharing that you can do anywhere right there with your open heart. And yeah, wanting to spill the truth in the community but getting a backlash is very big deal. But you want to speak freely, you're welcome to ZK Whisper. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll open a quick demo for 2 minutes.
Sure. So I have a questions when you are presenting this. You can continue with your demo. But like one is that, like what's the equivalent in, like, is this Glassdoor or anonymous Glassdoor?
It's just a platform like, posting. You can just post whatever you want.
No, but you can post whatever, but then there's some reputation that you are proving also to other people, right?
Yeah, we are proving the reputations through their IDs. Like,
No, I know. No, but is it a work platform, or is it? Are you? Like,
we are going to include all the features in it. So it can be anything. They could create any channels that they want. They're free to use.
But every channel will have a different theme, right?
Yeah.
And then that theme, you have to find some way to verify membership of that community.
Yeah, the membership of the community is what we are using.
Doing
the
email right now.
companies and things like that. Maybe for DAOs, they can give us some NFTs like POA. NFT, we can find out that they went to an event. They're talking about the event. We know that they went to an event too because they have an NFT in POA. So we can verify that thing.
But then, currently even in Discord and all, right? That also, like, if you use Guild, Guild is the platform which a lot of people use for this. So, okay, for example, here if I want the Zohouse NFT, right? If I have the Zohouse NFT, I could have bought it completely anonymous, just from the market, and there is a Zohouse NFT chat on Telegram. Now that, the only thing that I had to prove is that I have that NFT in my wallet, and Guild, Guild.xyz did that flow for me through Telegram, and I was able to verify that.
Yeah, so you're able to verify that, but they still know who you are, right? Like they're able to see who you are. What is your name or who are you?
They don't, right? I just bought the NFT, and I can choose to connect a Anon Telegram account, right? And so I mean, okay, there's a lot of promise here. I would say you should definitely continue building it ahead, but you should pick your niche, like your current GTM, little smartly. Don't try and target everything at once. Go a little, focused. Also look at almost this exact thing with terms of jobs was like a Glassdoor thing was built last year at ETHIndia. They were one of the finalists. check out that. It's by a hacker called Ananya and somebody else. I think their implementation was a little mid, but you could take a look at that. Yours is a little seems like a little more polished, but in general, I'm bullish on this whole thing. So I'm keen on continuing to build this ahead.
Yeah, sure. We'll look into that. Actually, Akash and Arko sir gave us like huge inspirations for these things.
Yeah.
So I guess, we'll surely work on this and go on with
Continue
the
building
forward
this ahead.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
that.
good job.
Yeah.
And good job with like how to package it. You're doing a good job with how to present it very well.
Yeah, thank you for that.
All right. Thanks, HyperDevs. We have team not yet decided next. Well, are you still deciding your name?
Hi guys, so this is Ashwin and we have built ARB402. So it's basically, a inference marketplace powered by X402 protocol. And we have built it on Arbitrum. And yeah, let's get into what problem exactly we are solving. So the problem that we are trying to solve is, so in the current market, you just buy, lots of A subscriptions, LLM subscriptions basically. And it's more or less, it's many tokens are like, idle for a month. We don't use the exact tokens that we buy for, and it's just mostly idle, and there is a lots of wastage in the money over there. So what we are trying to accomplish here is, so it would be something like, we are building a AI inference marketplace. So you just buy LLM models like in a pay-per-request business model. So yeah, so let's just get into it. So these are the solution that we are going ahead with. So we are using X402 protocol implementation, and our settlement layer is Arbitrum. And it's the main thing we decided to go with Arbitrum is, like the less gas fee. So since it's a pay-per-request model, so the gas fee associated with every action from the facilitator is quite more. So this is the actual like idea, and this is our architecture. So I just want to get started with our demo. So the end goal of like our main target audience would be like the SMEs, mostly like wants to use lots of AI integrations, and they go ahead with OpenAI models or Claude or any other Anthropic models, everything. So what we tend to do is we have a like a whole set of marketplace where they can just get their open endpoints basically. We need to make it secure though, but yeah, currently we have it just integrated with one single model right now. So I'm just getting into my, this is how actually the set of businesses would be like. 2 minutes. So mostly developers integrating our infrastructure. So our infrastructure is basically a middleman here. So I'll just connect my MetaMask. So there is no need of client side here, but for the demo purpose, I have just built a client side here. So I'm just typing in a prompt, basically, that's it. So the basic ideology is to have a Hugging Face kind of interface where you have multiple models listed in our platform, and you basically use that in a pay per request business model. So our server returns a 402 request based 402 response based on the token consumption for that exact computation that he is doing from the client side.
Are you self-hosting these models, or?
Sorry?
These models are self-hosted, or are you just giving access to them?
So we are just giving access to them. So for instance, right now it's it's Grok model that we have integrated. So in future we just go ahead with different models.
That's Grok on Grok, right? You're just taking care of the payment for me.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
ChatGPT also you can take care of the payment for me.
Yeah.
And I will only have to pay as much as I use.
So as per much the usage that you do, for that only you are doing, like for every request.
Okay, and then but it's your account that I'm using. Because ChatGPT
exactly, yeah. So
because ChatGPT will take $20. That is their policy.
Yeah. So here we take care of the monthly payment with we act as a middleman between you and the LLM providers here. So if it is an open source LLMs, we run the LLMs in an instance and provide it. But if it is something like it's based on the preference that the clients need. So this is what we built, and so the thing is, like, we thought about having batch transactions over here to avoid multiple gas fees involved per every request. But I've analyzed every settlement fees involved. So I think it's quite sustainable regarding the gas fee payments with regards to the facilitator and.
But then currently also it's the APIs are pay per use, right? Like.
So it's like, for instance, if we take up an enterprise model in like Anthropic, so around $20 I think mostly. So it's something like mostly I'm giving an example for my end. So I don't use it every day, that exact model. So I'm just paying $20 for nothing, like like I just use for around $5 to $10 every month. But I don't actually use like for $20 whole. So this saves a lot of cost when we think about in terms of SMEs basically. So then we just extend to.
But then you're also the middleman, right? Then their data is passing through you.
Yeah. Sorry?
The data is also passing through you, no?
So yeah, the data comes to our backend services. Yeah.
So you can read everything, right?
It's basically, we don't store it, so we process it basically. But yeah, that is something we have to.
Yeah, why will SMEs be okay with this?
Yeah, I can understand that. We need to look into it.
Cool. Think about these things. Think if you can find some way for encrypting that stuff and all. Could be interesting.
Yeah, understood, Denver. So this is what we have built as an MVP, and going ahead, like our super hacker, like supported it in regards to deciding which idea we need to go ahead with. So I was exploring protocols which involved with Arbitrum with regards to privacy stack, and
Nice.
like more like a privacy auction platform. Then she was, like we were also interested in X4 Auto implementation in Arbitrum especially. So she just gave a suggestion regarding this platform using the stable coins, like you just settle with stable coins and get computation info. So we went ahead with this one, and we just have a call with Ben as well, DevRel
Nice.
of Arbitrum, probably today or tomorrow. So we are excited to go ahead with this.
That'd be cool. Excited
Thank
for
you.
what you built. Thank you. Cool. Next up, what's your team name? Promised Build. Okay, all right. Next up, we have team Promised Build.
Hello?
Okay. So splitwise for Web3.
Yes.
For
Hi, we are Team Promise Build. I'm George. This is Liz. We build Split Hub. Payments often face a lot of issues. Splitting bills between people is hard. It's awkward. Crypto payments are still very confusing to a lot of people. And if you looked at closed loop systems, they're very frustrating. So what do we want? We want the simplicity of Splitwise that can happen with a tap. No wallets, no pop-ups, no friction, just instant settlement. So the first feature that we built was splitting a bill. Let me show you how that works. Just like Splitwise, I'm adding my expenses with 2 people. In this part, it just gets split between 3 people, between the 2 equally. Once that's done, to execute the payment, all you have to do is get your chip and tap on the website. And that's it. And the second feature that we built was a modern take on prepaid cards. I'm sure some of you have gone to arenas like Play-O and loaded up money in a temporary card and then went around and put it in another machine to get access to some other machine. We thought we could solve this a better way. Let me show you how that works. So this is practically like your a simulation of a POS machine. Instead, to pay the POS machine, you just tap it. And the payment is done, and you get your credits, and you move on. So think of this area as like your game or wherever the user is going to spend their money. So in this example, I'm using laser tag. So in a very similar way, when the user purchases, when the user pays the POS machine, they get credits that they get to spend in other places. And hopefully this will be really good for arcades, maybe festivals or events. Basically, the way this whole thing works is I came across a chip that can sign EIP 712 transactions. So we have an on-chain registry where a user registers the chip. Once the registration is complete, the chip and the owner is linked. And when the chip signs, the signature never leaves the device. And the user has to now approve the required amount of tokens to the contract. Once that's done, the setup is complete. You can go to any of these use cases, websites, tap and execute a payment.
It's 18 hours.
The payment is relayed, the transaction is relayed by a relayer. Obviously, this relayer cannot make any changes to any of the parameters because then the transaction would fail. And finally, the transaction settles on-chain. This results in user making payments with just one tap. That's it. Thank you. And our super hacker was Vaishak. It was really fun working with him. There have been a lot of hackathons where I spent more than half of the time thinking about what to build and not building anything at all. Working with him was really fun because he really steered us towards the right idea that was fun to build and useful at the same time. Initially, we thought of building price protection options on top of quick commerce. I thought it was a great idea. He told me maybe it would be really hard for people to add liquidity or find any value in it. I'm really happy that this project turned out this way. And at the 11th hour, he had a friend, Gaurang. He gave me a wallet that supported my feature. It was really awesome. Because of that, I got to test out all of this in the burner wallet.
Amazing. So both your use cases are super cool. So the first one, do you think that the base app already solves for it, or
I'm actually not familiar with it, how Base does it.
Yeah, the Base, there's a Base has an app called the Base app.
Okay.
And I've seen people try and use that, but so you'll ask people to download this app, your app, and use it as a splitwise, correct?
There is no app. It's just a website.
Just a PWA.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice. So basically, people just go and like save the bookmark, and that's about it.
That's good enough.
That's good enough, and the thing here that you're optimizing for is just user experience. You just you go to a restaurant, like you select who paid for something, and then you just tap, and then everybody else gets a payment request.
No, so we haven't implemented any of this complex splitting logic or notifications or any of that. I think that those would be the next step. Right now, what we've done is, so you select the person who should pay you, and they take their chip and they tap, and you get paid. So in this scenario, you paid the bill, and you're requesting two of your other friends to.
Okay, so they have to have a chip with them. They have to have a device.
Yeah,
like
they need to have the chip. Yeah, that's a caveat.
Okay. Okay, so it's basically a card.
It's basically a card.
Basically the burner wallet.
Yeah, it's basically a burner wallet. It can come in a bunch of form factors, like a circular one. So I started working with this when I attended ETH Global. I got this tag, and then they said there's a whole chip inside it that can sign transactions, but they were not using it for signing or as a wallet there. So I was curious. Then I figured you actually don't need this wallet itself to sign transaction. You can just use this whatever chip is in the tag. But
makes sense.
Like you said, the biggest problem is at the moment, as far as I know, there's only one company in the world that makes this. They're called ARCs,
ARCs, yeah.
research. And I think if you want to buy one chip for $2 or $3, I think their minimum order is 5,000 chips or something like that.
Yeah, true. True. They also have sticker. Yeah, it is not cheap. Burner wallet is a nice option.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the second use case that you had. Like that was like you go to theme parks, and then how does that work? Like let's.
So like I used to go to this arcade called Playo. So that
Yeah.
how they work is like you get a plastic card with a swipe card.
Yeah.
You give your real card, you load money into it, and then they have a bunch of mechanisms that you put the card. So instead of this, first you tap the chip. To tap the chip, all you probably need is just a phone, or you don't even need a phone. You can build a similar experience with just one Raspberry Pi and a NFC reader. You tap and you pay USDC or any stable coin, and they give you credits. And the credits also goes to the user. And at this point, like if you want to play bowling or whatever, you go there and you tap the chip, and the appropriate amounts are taken.
But then, oh wait, but their systems will only accept their cards, right?
Their system will probably only accept their cards, but to switch to this, it's actually pretty easy because you can just switch with a phone. You just need a website.
Makes sense. What are your plans? Are you continuing to build this ahead?
Yeah, definitely. I think our first plan is to integrate a sort of embedded wallet so that the initial setup process can also be streamlined, and then maybe add some more features. One thing that I was thinking about is like, if you have a risky position open up on Aave or something, you want margin money, you can maybe request it to a bunch of friends. They tap their cards. The money is here, and then you, in one tap, your position, your health factor moves back to a much safer place.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if also thinking about the other feature that in Splitwise, like, it goes as a notification to people and all.
Yeah.
That also helps, but that's, yeah. But super cool. I'm interested in seeing how this evolves.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Promised Build. We have Team 7 next.
dev tool. So basically this dev tool lets you implement ZK into your project. Yeah, so this SDK lets you implement ZK into your project, but the main thing is it is not a requirement that you know everything about cryptography, you know everything about Web3 itself. It does use smart contracts, deploys smart contracts, calls functions of smart contracts, but is abstracted in a way that the developer need not manually deal with them. So basically, let me give you a video demo of how, just a second, how you can implement ZK into your project in under 1 minute. This video is not, the speed of this video is original. We have not like made it a 2x. This is the circum file which every developer will have to write. They will have to do this compile command and provide the circum file. All the 10-12 complicated manual steps are done, and a verifier solidity contract is automatically generated based on the circum file. Then the next step would be directly deploying the smart contract, so they can hit directly the deploy command, provide their own private key. Since this is an open source SDK, providing private key would not be an issue. Private keys wallet would contain the assets to deploy contract, and as you can see, the contract is deployed. Now integrating this into a project is also a difficult part, since the developer has to deal with ABIs and contracts, ABIs and contract addresses and RPCs and all. This simple thing makes the integration possible. We have developed a single JavaScript function. You provide the input to that function, it does all the job for you. It does calls the smart contract with the correct address, with the correct ABI and the correct RPC. So the developer who is implementing ZK need not know anything about cryptography or Web3, but they can use the power of it. Moving towards the presentation, this is the normal method if you want to implement ZK into your project, like pretty like nerdy stuff, the growth 16, the ZK snarks and all. This is the way if you use this SDK. It is already NPM published. You just hit NPM install ZK engine into your project and just directly start using all the commands. This was made during the ETHIndia Villa. We would like to thank the organizers to like make such a good event. It was pretty good. We also participated in all the side events. Special mention to our super hacker Angela on guiding us. She also helped us by helping us what we can do with this project in future, how we can integrate this into the actual Ethereum ecosystem. And we are open to any questions if any of you have.
Cool, really cool stuff. What do you think, did people try similar approaches before, and do you think there's any reason why so far something like this did not exist?
Yeah, so